Day 3 of the College World Series from Omaha. Tonight, the first wave of elimination round matchups where the name of the game is survival. The unique sounds of summer in college baseball. Who can silence the noise? The nation's top pitcher, Chris Benson of Clemson, struck out 15 on Friday, but still lost. Tonight, flame-throwing teammate Billy Koch will face the music against the best pinging team in the country, Oklahoma State. It's Elimination Sunday at the College World Series. Clemson and Oklahoma State. The winner survives, the loser goes home. Let's take a look at bracket number 1. Earlier today, Miami beat Alabama to stay in the winner's bracket, while the Tide dropped back into the elimination round and will meet the winner of this game. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Steve Garvey. It's great to have you with us. Clemson came into the College World Series with the advantage of having the best pitching staff in the country. But they're still on the verge of elimination. Sometimes it just doesn't go the way you planned it.
The best laid plans of mice and men went wrong the first game against Miami. Now this is, to me, the best pitching staff in the country. The numbers speak for themselves. Benson, 15 strikeouts the first game. He gets the loss. They had to bring in Viney. He pitched a little bit. Now the weight of the Tigers' world is on the shoulders of Billy Koch. That young man there knows he's got to put in at least a good 7 innings tonight.
Of course, the obvious matchup is pitching against hitting, and Oklahoma State can hit.
Well, the #1 run-scoring team in the country, they have some guys who take that, instead of lumber, aluminum up to the plate. And this young man here, Rusty McNamara, not only does he have an attitude, but he has a bat to go with it. He's a California boy. We're wondering whether that's pure blonde hair or not, but he's one of the leaders of that Cowboy team.
Clemson outfielder Gary Burnham has made a lot of friends in Omaha this week, not exactly the way he thought he would. Let's go to Larry Conley.
Mike, the play by Gary Burnham was one of the most bizarre in College World Series history. After the ball had gone fair down the third base line, he turned and tossed it up into the stands, costing his club a run. Obviously, it was a big one, but he feels like right now it's over with and they have to move on.
It just shows me that, people do care and they know the reason we're really out here to have a good time. And, they've been great about it. And, I want to have some fun tonight, too.
This Clemson team is ready to play. I think they're going to play well tonight with Koch on the mound.
All right, Larry, we'll have lineups and the first pitch in Game 6 of the College World Series. Clemson and Oklahoma State right after this. Welcome back to Omaha for Day 3 of the College World Series. For Clemson, Jack Leggett in his 3rd year as head coach. Here's the lineup he'll use today. Leading it off, the club's top base stealer, Doug Livingston, the second baseman. Shortstop Kurt Boltman is a solid #2 hitter as a true freshman. Hitting third, the Tigers' power man, Matthew LaCroix. #1 in homers and RBIs, the DH today. The cleanup man is Jason Embler, who tops the club with a .354 average. He'll play first base. Paul Galloway, #5 in the order. He's a senior and will play third. Left fielder Gary Burnham bats 6th. He has occasional power. Streak hitter Jerome Robinson will be in right. He has more clutch hits than anyone on the team. Senior Will Duffy is the catcher and #8 in the batting order. And the #9 hitter, center fielder Rusty Rhodes, another senior.
And Sean McClellan pitching for the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. A good fastball in the 88 to 91 mile per hour range. Nice tight slider. Good curveball and a change. 4-pitch pitcher. Good size. Really aggressive on the mound.
And he'll need some support behind him. Josh Halliday will be the catcher. Jamie Cook at first. Rusty McNamara at second. Trip McKay, a natural second baseman at short. Tony Rosine at third. Around the outfield, Guile Ayler and Sal Haney, a good defensive right fielder. Oklahoma State has had a lot of problems with its pitching this year. ERAs 4.5 and above, the exact opposite of Clemson. But Gary Ward, in his 19th year at Oklahoma State, has traditionally got it done by just banging the ball around the ballpark and then out of it.
When you average 11 runs a game, you don't mind giving up 4. When you only average 5, you got to be in the 3s, that's for sure.
Doug Livingston leads it off against McClellan. Livingston with 1 base hit in the College World Series, 346 overall on the season. The young man is delighted to be back in action at the College World Series. Injured. And they weren't a very good ball club when he was out with a broken jaw. They struggled without him.
He's definitely the leader on this team, the catalyst. Jack Leggett says this is the man that sets the table for them.
The 1-2 is lined foul down the left field line. Temperature 63 degrees. Our chance of rain 50%. The last weather forecast said we'll be all right if we can go about another hour and a half. The wind could be a factor, blowing to right center 15 miles an hour and gusting to 30. And the ball carries here pretty well. You don't need much help to get one out of here.
Especially if you get that aluminum bat through the ball and get some backspin on it. The ball really travels well. And of course, Mike, you and I know that the wind can shift directions easily here from right to left, left to right. It'll turn around and go to center, but rarely does it blow in.
No, it doesn't. The pitchers don't get much of a break. The best
Wrigley Field.
Best they can hope for is still.
Right.
Missed the slider outside, 2-2.
They say their prayers instead of "Can I have the wind blowing in? Can I just have it still?" I don't want to ask for too much.
2-2 to the opening batter, Livingston. That's fouled back out of play down the right field side. Crowd still filing in here to Rosenblatt. We set a record last night. More than 22,000 came out to watch the second session of the College World Series, and we expect about the same tonight. This gets better and bigger every year. Livingston and McClellan, a pretty good opening matchup here. And he got him on a pitch in the dirt, struck him out. Now he has to throw down the first to record the out and do. Holiday gets the assist and Cook the put out.
You'll take a look now at the anxiety of Livingston right here. Both teams are going to be very anxious this evening in this double elimination situation. Swings at a bad pitch. Pitch out of the strike zone and down. Now he has to try to beat it out, and you just can't beat the ball.
Freshman Kurt Boltman takes a fastball low. He's had a great NCAA tournament, including College World Series. He's hitting .529 after hitting .357 in the ACC tournament. So he has his overall average up here at 300. Smokes that one to deep left field. Dial is back. It's gone. His 5th home run. And that was a line shot.
And that's how easily it can happen here at Rosenblatt Stadium, Mike. And I told you about the short fences, the aluminum bats, the light air, the wind blowing out, and a fastball that didn't move. It's a bad equation for McClellan and a great equation for Clemson. Let's take a look. Opens the hips, accelerates through the ball, a line shot into left center. That's 6 feet over the wall. He goes up, no chance. 1-0, Clemson.
Matthew LaCroix stands in, takes a breaking ball for a called strike. .317 average overall. And Boltman still getting congratulations in the dugout. Big thrill for the freshman here in the College World Series for the first time. This one's fouled straight back. McClellan has struggled as you look at LaCroix's number. McClellan has struggled in his last couple of starts, but that's been typical of this pitching staff. 10 earned runs in the last 11 innings. That's an ERA of 8.18. And they certainly need a better performance than that out of him tonight. And they're hoping the series will do it for him. In the air down the right field line, Salhaney drifts over to make the catch. 2 gone. Rosenblatt 332 down the lines, 360 to the power alleys and left and right center, 408 to straightaway center. It used to be, what, 420, Steve, and they moved the field out. It was a lot tougher to hit one out of here. 420 in center, it was a canyon out there. All you needed was a center fielder who could outrun everything, and you were in business.
Very similar to Dodger Stadium at one time in the 60s, where they actually moved the field out because it was getting more and more difficult to hit home runs there. They did the same thing here. I think the most important thing is lowering the fence. They used to have much higher fences, and some of these line drives like that last one for a home run probably would have been off the wall 6-8 years ago.
Right. Jason Embler at 354, the number one average on the team, and he smokes one to deep left center. Gone with a dive! Hasn't shown him the ball yet. Now he does. He's out. Great play by Jeff Guile, diving in the gap in left center to rob Embler of at least a double.
You see Guile make the play of the series so far, fully extended, makes the catch, eyes focused on the ball, right in the pocket, a great catch.
A solo home run makes it 1-0 Clemson at the end of one half inning of play. Let's take a look at Oklahoma State's lineup. Leading it off is Trip McKay, the shortstop. He's batting .358 and leads the country in walks. Ted Salhaney, number 2 on the team with 16 homers, will play in right field. Rusty McNamara, the second baseman, he has 19 homers with 2 in the series opener. The cleanup man, left fielder Jeff Guile at .398. He has the best average of the regulars. Wiley Steelman is the DH today and bats 5th in the lineup. Conference Freshman of the Year Josh Holliday is the catcher. Tony Rosine, a sophomore, is at third base and bats 7th. Hitting 8th, playing center field, senior Brian Ayler. And at first base, the number 9 hitter, another senior, Jamie Cook.
And the Cowboys will face Bill Koch. Live fastball, 90, 93 miles per hour, was clocked at 98 at one time. He's got a nice tight slider. When he gets in trouble, it's lack of control. He's got a great arm.
And one of 3 projected first-round draft choices on this Clemson pitching staff. Defensively, Will Duffy is his personal catcher. Jason Embler down at first, Livingston and Boltman the middle infield, Galloway at third, Burnham in left, Rusty Rhodes in center, Jerome Robinson is the right fielder. Jack Leggett in his 3rd year. 20 years ago, he was here at the College World Series as a second baseman and a captain for the Maine Black Bears. And now returning as a coach. And the Clemson Tigers have not won a College World Series game since 1977. They're on a bad streak, and they'd like to break it here tonight.
And they're due.
Absolutely.
And they have the right man on the mound. Bill Koch really comes at you, Mike. He's at good height, good size. More of a slinger.
Trip McKay at .358. You will see some hellacious-looking batting averages and power numbers from Oklahoma State. You will also see them take a ton of pitches. And the idea for Koch tonight is to get ahead.
We talked about Gary Ward's 15-90 philosophy. That is, he wants to get the opposing pitcher over at least the first 6 innings to throw 15 pitches in an inning, 90 total. The other night he did that significantly and still lost. One of the rare times that the philosophy didn't work. Of course, he was beaten by a clutch 3-run home run. Just can't beat those 3-run homers.
No, you can't. This one slapped toward the hole and through for a base hit for Trip McKay, the senior from Mount Pleasant, Texas. Burnham gets it back in, so the leadoff hitter reaches.
Take a look now at an inside-out swing. Was able to fight the ball off and get it right perfect in the hole. Good job of hitting by McKay. This first time around, Mike, we'll see a lot of these Oklahoma State hitters take a pitch, take a strike.
If you're Koch, do you sort of get on cruise control and just say the first one, I'm pumping it right down the middle?
Why not? Got a good live fastball here, hit it. Make them hit the ball. Jack Liggett said that today. He can't afford to have Koch be wild these first couple innings at least.
Koch staring in at Sal Haney, a power hitter with 16 home runs. And a big swing and way late on it, too. That ball has some giddy up on it. We've already timed it at 95.
He was concerned about a little bit of anxiety, a little nervousness. He seems swallowing a little bit. He knows this pressure of this team is on him, even though he has a 1-0 lead.
McKay had to dive back to beat that throw. McKay 16 out of 22 in the stolen base department this year.
Quick move to first base. They use a slide step home. They step off the rubber, do anything to keep the runner close.
Oh! Outside 1-1 to Sal Haney. From London, Ontario, Canada. And Gary Ward has always been a national recruiter. And early in his coaching career established a Canadian connection. And he's gotten players out there off and on ever since.
An international recruiter also.
Makes for good trips, doesn't it?
That's right.
1-1 swing and a miss. Another 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
And my old football coach Duffy Daugherty had 2 recruiting areas, Hawaii and Santa Barbara. That's when you're head coach. 95 miles per hour from a stretch.
Only got a
legitimate major league baseball.
Absolutely. 1-2 to Sal Haney with McKay at first. Nobody out in the first. Diving back again. See so much more of throwing over to any base in college baseball than they do in the majors. McKay with a good lead, not a huge one. Swing and a strike 3. Sal Haney unable to catch up to a fastball again. And that is a good sign for Billy Koch.
Usually to drop the bat down on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball than to get it up to a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. As you can see, it's tough to go up for it, easier to drop it down.
If they are going to swing at that letter-high fastball, it's going to be a tough night for Oklahoma State.
You got a tomahawk there. The only thing is take it from your shoulder and just chop at it. That's the quickest way.
Rusty McNamara, 19 home runs, leads the club. And he's broken a record this year, 275 at-bats. That is the school record for Oklahoma State.
That's a lot of at-bats for a college baseball player.
McKay dives back again. That was closer. Kevin Gilmore, the first base umpire, staying busy over there. That's the 5th throw over by Koch. Fastball popped in there high 2-0.
What happens, Mike, is when a pitcher throws 95 miles per hour, pitcher reaction time from about 0.6 or 0.5 tenths of a second down to 0.4, so that ball that looks up, you can see it better than the ball down, and it makes you go after it. And that's what's going to happen here. He's going to try to keep that ball up. Unfortunately, a lot of times it's not in the strike zone by the time it gets down the ball.
Two and 1 to McNamara. Made the all-tournament team at the Central 2 Regional. 89 RBIs on the year, and he's been hit by a pitch 21 times this year. He'll take one for the club, and he set a career record at Oklahoma State.
He's the kind of young man who kind of likes it, too. And that goes along with his personality. I said in our pregame, he's got a little bit of an attitude, which Gary Ward likes.
The 3-1, fouled back on the screen, 3-2.
Now, for me, this is a classic confrontation in this game between the 95-mile-an-hour pitcher and the guy who just won't give in.
And McNamara has only fanned 19 times this year. Really unusual for a power guy.
Well, as we watch him, he keeps that front shoulder in and really goes right into the ball.
McKay goes on the 3-2. Struck him out. Here's the throw. Boy, nice catch by Kent Livingston, and that falls into center field. He did a nice job of staying with it and then bringing his glove back up to get the throw from Duffy.
Now this steal is on the pitcher. It's a high leg kick by Koch. He's still looking back, means he's got good speed. Now McNamara springs through the ball. Good release by Duffy. Makes a nice catch, tries to get a piece of him just in case he comes off the bag, but he doesn't.
So a runner at second and 2 gone. That was the 17th steal of the season for Trip McKay. And Jeff Guile, the cleanup man, another Canadian from Vancouver, British Columbia, stands in. And among the regulars, he has the best batting average, .398. Called strike. Hit as high as .480 during the year, but it's declining to a mere .398 at this point.
Trying to hit that round ball with a round bat squarely and miss those 8 guys. Hit big .480. It's tough to stay there.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm not a big fan of open stances, but Gal does have an open stance, and it fits him well, and he steps right towards the pitcher and makes good contact.
Lost this one to left. Gary Burnham tapped under it, makes the catch. So one base runner is stranded, and the Clemson Tigers at the end of one have taken a 1-0 lead over Oklahoma State.
To the first inning.
Things have gone the way the Clemson Tigers had hoped they would. They score a run in the top of the first, and one of their ace pitchers sets down Oklahoma State with only one hit and no runs in the bottom half of the first. Galloway to lead it off here in the second inning against Sean McClellan. Galloway has never had a B in mechanical engineering. That makes us even. He said 8 straight semesters, 4.0. An academic All-American a year ago. He hit .330 last year. I think,
I'm assuming he's an intelligent hitter.
Yeah.
Also.
Yes.
Just assuming that he really knows the strike zone.
With all deference to college baseball players, it may be easier to hit .330 than it is to get a score on mechanical engineering 8 straight semesters.
That's right. Even though we claim it's the toughest skill in all the sports, hitting a baseball and doing it consistently. Obviously, this young man is the epitome of a student athlete.
Senior out of Camden, South Carolina. Here's the 2-2. Breaking pitch hit outside third, backhanded by Rosen. Tony Rosine went behind third. Made the stab, but couldn't get it across the diamond quickly enough.
I'm not so sure Rosine didn't think he was going to have to dive for this ball, but he really could have caught that standing up and then just planted and thrown. And as we can see, he does beat it out barely at first base. A good play, but not quite in time.
I was a little intrigued by the way he turned also, Steve.
Well, he
lost some time doing that.
He lost the put out by pivoting around the opposite side.
Gary Burnham stands in. Young man who leads the club in walks and in doubles. Hitting .286 right now in the College World Series. He's 2 for 4 with a double and a couple of runs driven in. Galloway, the number 2 base stealer. Clemson doesn't run that much. He's 9 out of 12. This is not a real good offensive baseball team. They've gotten it done with pitching and defense. Great call to Burnham 1-1. But they have had their moments.
This man right here, Jack Leggett, gets the most out of his team. He's an excellent concept of understanding where his strengths are and where his weaknesses are and how he plays to each one.
Just outside. Jack Leggett would have had a much more offensive-minded baseball team this year had he not lost what everyone thinks is a national record. He had 9 kids signed that turned around and went pro. He lost 9 kids that he was counting on this year. And this is a team that makes the College World Series. You can imagine how good they might have been. That was close at first.
It's a good news and bad news. He was able to get 9 blue chippers, and so were the pros.
That's right.
And we'll talk a little bit later about his philosophy about going to college and why signing right out of high school in the long run is not as beneficial for him.
Galloway with a good lead, and Cook slaps the tag on him late.
Both pitchers, Koch and McClellan, keeping the runners close in this extremely important game.
Outside.
2-1 outside. It's 3-1. Galloway down at first.
What can happen is you can concentrate so much on the runner that you lose your concentration to the plate, and all of a sudden you slip behind. Now it's a situation where Burnham has the advantage. It's a hitter's count.
Do you like doing something on 3-1 counts, hitting runs?
Well, especially in a situation where it's sudden death, where if we lose tonight, we're gone. I'd rather put pressure on the defense by running, making things happen. And invariably, your hitters become better hitters because they become more focused.
Throw over. Galloway has to dive back again.
And you don't have to have a lot of speed either. It's more or less of a, not necessarily a hit and run, but a run and hit situation. You can get them going.
The breeze has freshened to right. Galloway somehow survived. Smoked at Jamie Cook. If he catches it, it's a walkover double play, but he dropped it, gets the out.
Watch Cook now. He comes off the bag in good position and actually handcuffs him, hits the palm of his glove. He goes over, tags the bag. Now, you've got to give the runner credit for the speed and quickness of getting back. Galloway goes back in head first. Now, look at the feet churning. He's got to go head first, and his hand is definitely in as Cook tags his back.
Real hustle play in first base. Umpire Kevin Gilmore made the right call. And there can't be anything more frustrating in baseball for a hitter than to just starch one right at somebody.
He gets it up, it's gone. As it was too hot to handle.
Jerome Robinson nubs one off the end of the bat. McNamara's only plays at first. Galloway goes into second. 2 gone. We're in the top of the second. Mike Patrick, Steve Garvey, Larry Conley, our entire ESPN2 crew with you. It's amazing to say.
The 2 crew.
So's the weatherman. They say if we can get past 8 o'clock Central Time, we'll be fine. But it got a couple of patches here, a little scary looking. Midwest weather.
I'm thinking ominous is the term we're looking at. But they're moving.
Will Duffy, who splits his time between being the DH and the catcher, he catches tonight. Stands in there with a 269 average.
Like if Galloway scores, indeed he will have manufactured a run for Clemson. With his hustle just getting back to the bag, he could have easily been out of that.
Chop toward McNamara at second. Here comes Galloway to the plate. He will score. McNamara with the easiest of plays for a second baseman just came up and threw it wide of Cook, who couldn't handle it. What a break for the Tigers.
McNamara, who's not a legitimate second baseman but has really matured at the position, takes this ball, watch it stay down, fields it with his hands down instead of up, and then throws up, and Cook, even with his size, can't hold on to it for an error and a run scored. And of course, Galloway just kept on going.
These are the make or break moments in the College World Series. And that was the 27th error on Rusty McNamara this year. As you mentioned, Steve, not a natural second baseman, so you can't lay it all on him. It's a very difficult thing to make a transition for a lot of kids.
Well, fellow who'd been playing second base for a number of years obviously wouldn't have caught that ball with the palm down. He would have had both palms up. And that just comes from hours and hours and thousands of ground balls. To his credit, he has assumed the role of playing second base for the sake of the team and done the best job he could.
Exactly. Rusty Rhodes, the center fielder, the senior from Ivy, South Carolina. Platooned him a lot during the year, started all the games in the regionals, and he started both here in the College World Series. Slap hitter. Takes a ball outside from McClellan, ball 4. So runners at first and second with 2 out. And McClellan has been victimized by his defense this inning.
You and I both have seen situations like this where the potential third out somehow isn't made. All of a sudden you get another walk and then one swing of the bat in this offensive stadium and the game's broken wide open.
For some guys it never seems to fail. You make the mistake and it just haunts you.
It's not necessarily one game. Guys have seasons like that.
Exactly.
They keep saying to themselves, why me?
Doug Livingston back to the top of the order. He struck out his first time up against Sean McClellan. Nice stop by Josh Halliday, who went down in the dirt. Seen some good catchers so far in this series. Guys that really are intent on moving their entire body outside and getting down to block it. 2 runs home for Clemson, 2 more aboard. This one's fouled back out of play, 1-1.
Like it's the same thing between calling a pitcher a thrower or a pitcher. You're either a catcher or a receiver, and we've seen a lot of good receivers here who do a good job behind the plate, receiving the ball, blocking the ball, and those that do call the game have done a good job in calling the game so far during this College World Series.
Perfect turn for it. Swung over the top of the curveball, 1-2.
He unraveled that curveball, as they say. Really pulled the string on it, got on top of it. It was a good 12-6 curveball, meaning it broke vertically. Let's take a look at it. Comes right over the top. Look at this pitch. Right, that's a tough pitch to throw. But if you can get it over the plate, you can be very effective with it.
2 on, 2 out. Good fastball is chipped back out of play. Count rides at 1-2. Oklahoma State won't be intimidated by somebody scoring a couple of runs off of them.
Well, they know after averaging 11 runs, give them 5 or 6. We're still in the game.
And until you get a baker's dozen, Gary Ward doesn't break a sweat.
Gary knows one thing. One of the obvious deficiencies in his team is defense. In a game with a lot of pressure like tonight in this 50th College World Series, he can't afford to get too far out of the game.
And that's one of the reasons I think the staff ERA is so high. A lot of times those are not pitchers' mistakes. This one's hit through into right field. Duffy comes around third, bobbled in right by Sal Haney, and it's 3-0 Clemson. Livingston didn't get much of that one at all, but he put it in the right place, and McNamara, try as he could, couldn't get closer than a body length to it. An RBI single for Livingston.
Livingston doing a good job of defensive hitting, protects the plate, and just flares the ball to right field, hits the ball where it's pitched. It's in a perfect location. It's in a key run for Clemson.
Both runs this inning are unearned.
Tom Holliday, the pitching coach, talking with Sean McClellan and Tom's son, Josh Holliday.
You know, Steve, there is another thing about, you look on the stat sheet, like McClellan has given up 68 runs, 52 of them earned. A lot of times, if you're not good defensively behind a pitcher, a lot of those earned runs are very tainted by the fact that your defense hasn't made even the routine plays to keep you in, even though they might not be errors.
Very much so, and it becomes psychological to the pitcher, knowing that he's got to strike out the hitter or get him to pop up, and what happens is you throw the ball up in the strike zone, and in college baseball, that ball can be easily over the fence instead of in somebody's glove.
Runners at first and third with 2 out. Boltman, his 5th home run of the year, his first time up. Line shot into the left center stands.
The young man who's really lifted his level of play in postseason.
Hits this one high in the air down the left field line. Dial coming on, still coming on. Now gets under and makes the catch. Clemson strands 2, but they score 2. And going to the bottom of the second, the Tigers have a 3-0 lead. Okay. (3-0) Clemson over Oklahoma State as we go to the bottom of the second. Game 6 earlier today in the Miami third. Gomez with a double. Burrow with a home run. That made it 5-1. Rivero singles. DeSalle doubles. Gargiulo with a single, 8-1. Gomez made it 10-1. Burrow 11-1 with a single. Rivero a 2-run single. It was 13-1 and a 10-run inning on 11 hits. Alabama didn't think it would ever end, and the final was 15-1. And no matter how many comebacks you've had at the College World Series, after somebody hits you with a 10 spot, it's probably over.
It's tough to make up a touchdown and a field goal, and especially Miami throws a pitcher against you that just pitched a masterful game.
Arteaga is tough. Tough little left-handed guy, battles all the way.
Not a lot of speed, but never the same pitch, the same location, same speed, same spot. Mixes it all up.
Wiley Steelman stands in against Koch. Strike called. Good pitch on the outside part of the plate. Steelman, a .341 hitter. First team all-conference DH. Out of Enid, Oklahoma. Strike 3 called. Questions home plate umpire Tom McKinney. The 3rd strikeout so far for Billy Koch.
Koch eyes focused on the target. There's a good tight slider right on the outside corner. It's a little bit off from here, but strike zone's a little expanded early in the game.
In the first game that you did this afternoon, that was the smallest strike zone I've seen yet at the College World Series. It looked like if it wasn't at the belt down the heart of the plate, it wasn't a strike.
And both head coaches were letting the home plate umpire know, too.
Josh Holliday, the catcher, the freshman out of Stillwater, takes a strike, 1-1. And so far, Billy Koch has managed to command everything in his arsenal. What were they telling us, Steve? The only time he gets in trouble is when he tries to throw it too hard.
When he tries to overthrow, what happens is the front shoulder opens up, the elbow drops, and he has a tendency to sail his head. So he doesn't finish up square to the plate, so he doesn't have total control of his body. And in order for him to not walk batters, he really has to have finite balance up there and good timing. He's not always going to have that. Until he gets his mechanics down better, it's going to be off and on.
3-1 to Holliday, who draws a free pass, his 2nd walk of the College World Series. And a guy you don't want to walk, he's only been hitting .188 in his last 5 ball games. Coming up Thursday, Major League Soccer from Foxborough, Massachusetts. New England, 4-3 on the season, and sitting in the middle of the Eastern Conference, takes on the only unbeaten team in the entire league. At 7-0, the Los Angeles Galaxy. Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern on the Deuce. You a season ticket holder, I assume?
No, I'm not.
No, okay.
But I periodically will enjoy going out there.
Good. Good for you. I know you try to support everything out there.
Yes, I do. And of course, finally with his son, I've taken him to all these venues, even though he's 3. After 5 daughters, I have a lot of support when I go to athletic events. It was, could you give me a 20 and have a good time?
Got to see a lot of dance recitals, though, didn't you?
Yes, I have.
Tony Rosine, the sophomore, transferred from Lubbock Christian with a 2-0 count, and a lot of debris blowing on the field out of the stands. And the wind is howling right now to right.
Wind starting to shift from left to right, a little more to right center. Hands on the umpire blowing, meaning that it's swirling down on the field as well as the flag.
And all at once, Koch can't find the strike zone. He is 3-0 to Rosine after walking Holiday.
Well, he's overflowing. And as you can see, the flapping of the banners there. It is blowing enough. It may have an effect on Koch on the mound.
Throws over to first to check Holiday, who has a grand total of 1 stolen base this year.
Koch has got to be very careful now. He doesn't spot this ball because Rosine will be swinging with the wind blowing to right.
Missed high with a fastball. So he's walked 2 straight. Koch had allowed 56 walks in 104 1/3 innings of work. So that's about 1 every 2 innings. And right now he's digging himself a hole.
When we talked to Jack Liggett this morning, he told us that his one concern, not velocity, not breaking ball control, but whether he could control his fastball, because this Oklahoma State team makes you throw strikes.
And John Pulowski, the pitching coach, is out there talking to him. Here's his motion.
A little stiff-legged on his landing there, which causes you to release your pitch a little bit soon. Doesn't allow you to really bend into the pitch. The front leg has to bend so that you can drive with it.
As strong as the wind is, you not only think about home runs, but anything hit in the air will be an adventure. Brian Ayler takes a strike. And the wind is howling now. Missed outside, 1-1.
Not a real easy situation for a pitcher on that mound when you have the wind swirling in the infield. He's got to remain focused. This is when you gear it down a little bit.
This one's fouled back out of play, 1-2. Koch in 95 only went 1 inning, gave up 4 earned runs against Stanford. There is a big difference in a lot of these guys from their sophomore to junior years, and this kid is a legitimate first-round draft choice.
Size, maturity, strength of arm.
Ayler dumps it down the right field line, but it hooks foul. That would have gotten at least 1 home, maybe 2. And the count holds at 1-2.
Koch knows that he got away that time, even though he jammed Ayler. Ayler wasn't able to keep it fair. That's been the difference in the ball game right now. Oklahoma State not able to get the key hit. Clemson able to get the key hit at the right time.
1-2 to Ayler. Struck him out. So Koch got the pitch he needed with runners at first and second and nobody on. That is 4 for Billy Koch.
This is pure coming at you baseball. Fastball against bat speed, and he just swings right through it. Ball directly over the plate. You've really got to cut down on your swing with a guy like Billy Koch on the mound. Flatten the bat, shorten your stride.
And we already have a pinch hitter in the ball game as Jamie Cook will be pinch hit for. So Gary Ward goes to his bench early and brings up Ryan Fulmer, a junior from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. 248 hitter with 2 home runs on the year.
One of the reasons why Gary Ward had Cook in the lineup was for his glove. So down 3-0, he must be thinking to himself, I need some offense now.
He's got an eyeful of Billy Cox so far, too. That may have helped make up his mind. Outside 1-1. Well, as you said earlier, you might as well use everybody. You lose this game, and it's the next trip out on the bus.
Don't need to hold anybody back. The one guy you won't see is Chris Benson. He struck out 15 against Miami. He still absorbed the loss. Take a look at the open stance now. Usually you do this to compensate for balls inside that you have trouble with. If you're a pitcher, you give away the, see the hitter giving away the outside half of the plate. That's where you throw the ball.
Gary Ward has always liked that style. Open stance, dive into the ball.
I'd rather be parallel or slightly closed and step right towards the pitch.
Hit toward the hole and into left field. Holiday comes around. Burnham comes up throwing. Too high, but backed up by the pitcher. He throws back to second. They almost get the runner there. Burnham had a shot at the plate, but the throw was way too high. So Ryan Fulmer, the junior, delivers a pinch hit single in the first run of the ball game.
You'll see Fulmer's only defense here was to inside out the ball and got the head of the bat on the ball and ricocheted through the left side of the infield. Gary Ward, knowing he's got to get on the board, sends the runner and he scores easily. Here's the throw to second. Good hard throw, not in time.
Burnham did the first half of his job beautifully in left field. Really charged hard on it and came up throwing. We're back to the top of the order for Trip McKay. He singled to left and stole second in the first inning. 2 on, 2 out. Oklahoma State down by a pair here in the bottom of the second. McKay was the MVP of the Central 2 Regional. 12 from 19, so he got hot at the right time.
Gary Ward knows that this is his opportunity to get back in the game. No more intense competitive head coach than Gary Ward. No more of a philosopher in the game than this man. He's analyzed every aspect. Take a look at him. He's halfway down the line so that he can properly see a ball hit the left or center.
McKay, who has been a good RBI man, singles to center. Rusty Rhodes comes up and throws. They'll hold the runner as third, and now kicks away from the catcher. Here comes Rosine to the plate. He'll score. 2 poor throws from the outfield on consecutive singles. It would have been bases loaded to end 2 outs.
This is a good job of hitting now by McKay. Gary Ward sensing a one-hopper to center, holds the runner at third. Now Clemson, playing poor fundamental baseball, overthrows the cutoff man, as Mike said, twice now, allowing the runner to score. Clemson playing very poor defense, and Jack Leggett knowing it, knowing he's got a good pitcher on the mound, but he needs support in the field.
Runners at second and third, still 2 out, and not the kind of baseball Clemson can afford to play. Their forte is pitching and defense. And now Jerome Robinson is going to come in from right field to get some shades as the sun breaks through. That will be a throwing error on Rusty Rhodes. Because the run would not have scored if the throw doesn't get away from the catcher. Sal Haney with a chance to give Oklahoma State the lead if he can deliver here. Fastball fouled back on the screen.
Mike to talk a moment ago about Gary Ward and his analysis of the game and how he's constantly in there. He was halfway up the third base line when the ball was pitched. Now he runs up so he gets a better angle at determining whether to send the runner or hold him. He held him, which I thought was a good move, and of course the overthrow allowed him to score. But this man is into the game with every pitch.
2 strikes now on Ted Salhaney. The tying run at third, the lead run at second with 2 out here in the second inning. And now we have gotten rid of those big thunderhead clouds. And we've got some sunshine at Rosenblatt.
Salhaney has to be quick with that. Like when you analyze hitters, you talk about trying to hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. The best way to do it is to keep that bat as flat as possible. And Salhaney is in good hitting position for a fastball pitcher. All you want to do is bring the bat back and then just get the bat on the hitting plane.
Inside, 2-2. Salhaney struck out his first time up.
No way that I would deviate from the fastball and try to mix up the breaking ball in this situation.
That's untouched. Only one of the 2 was earned. Strike 3 call. Salhaney throws the helmet. Said it was that far outside, guys. 5 strikeouts for Billy Koch, and he gets out of a big jam here in the second. Still, Oklahoma State gets a pair, and will go to the third in a 1-run ball game. Back at the College World Series in Omaha, we go to the top of the third with Clemson leading 3-2. The new catcher is Ryan Fulmer. Holiday moves from catcher to third, and Rosine goes from third to first.
It's a chess game that Gary Ward will start to play now. Now and then he'll play a hunch, but most of the time his moves are made on logical choices for better defense or the right man in the right spot to play.
Well, his move with Fulmer as a pinch hitter certainly paid off.
You want to get the left-handed hitter against the right-handed thrower.
What he doesn't have now is a particularly good defensive first baseman. That's the reason Jamie Cook was out there to begin with.
But I'd rather have a third baseman come over to first because it's very similar on the corners,
right.
The angles and the speed of the ball getting to you.
Matthew McCoy 0 for 1, hits it in the air to shallow left center. Taylor, the center fielder, calls everyone off and makes the catch. Jason Embler stands in against Sean McClellan. Embler 0 for 1. Robbed of a double in the gap in left center by Godwin. Made a beautiful diving catch. Well, the clouds are gone. The wind still blowing now more to right field. 15, 20 miles an hour. This hit in the gap in the left center. Taylor got a good jump on back there. And the wind helped him on that one.
Knocked it down. Jason Embler twice hitting the ball extremely hard. One great play and that one knocked down by the wind.
So 2 quickly gone here in the Clemson third inning. Tigers up 1-0. Galloway 1 for 1. He got a grounder behind third his first time up. And as Steve so correctly pointed out, got credit for the first run because he ran his way out of the double play to stay on base and eventually score. skips back to the screen past Coleman.
And Mike, I remember when your pants went just below the knee. And they have what they call a stocking there of a different color.
That's right.
Nowadays, major leaguers and college players, pants right down to the shoes.
This is lofted in the air to right. Salhaney with a long run and doesn't get there. And bounces over the fence around for Galloway. Salhaney never really had a chance with the wind blowing the ball away from him. Gave it the long run and couldn't get there.
He really did, Mike. There was no way, because as we can see the flag going left to right, they took that inside-out swing, which causes left to right spin, and that ball was just blowing away from him right from the beginning. Fortunately for the Cowboys, it goes into the stands because it could have rattled around. So he has good speed. He could have easily gotten a triple.
Now Burnham, who lined to Cook, who dropped it but then got the out. Burnham really smoked the ball. He's 2 for 5 in the College World Series, 0 for 1 today. Breaking pitching out for a strike.
Don't you know he wants to redeem himself for an unfortunate lapse of consciousness the other night? He's a fine young man. I talked to him the workout day last Thursday. Came up to me. We talked about baseball and hitting. Just a fine young man.
Gordon, you really had to feel for the kid. Fortunately, he was 2 for 4 and had 2 RBIs in that game. So at least he was ahead of it.
Right. And that one play didn't lose the game.
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes you can lose the Masters by a 10-shot swing or toss a ball into the stands and become more endearing to people.
Burnham pounds it right at McNamara, who comes up and has no trouble with that throw. Throws him out. We go to the bottom of the third. Clemson by a run. Yep.
Back here in Omaha, we're up in the public address announcers little booth there, and Jack Payne, who's been doing this since 1964. Let's listen in.
We'd like to get a little rundown here and help out the Tourism and Information Bureau here in the city of Omaha. I appreciate your cooperation in sounding off now as to your geographic location. Get a bearing on who comes to the series. You can let me know by your applause, cheers, whatever you care to. Everyone here that is not from Douglas County, let's hear from you.
Thank you, Jack, and thank you, Larry. And Jack finished his little presentation by saying thank you and spend lots of money while you're here. A wonderful Midwestern feel out here, and we're not trying to be cliche-ish either. It is it's always a delight to come out here to see some of the innocence that was what this country was about not that many years ago.
The innocence both in the stands and on the field. Because I know both you and I truly enjoy doing this College World Series simply because these young men still have an innocence about them that becomes lost once they become professionals and reach the major leagues. This is true amateurism, and they play the game for the sake of finding out how good they can be as individuals and as a team.
Honestly, nothing quite like it. Strike called on the 3-0 to Rusty McNamara.
Sense of community, I think, is what you're talking about here.
Absolutely.
All the years that we've come here, just a tremendous warmth and welcome.
Foul back 3-2. And they do turn out for this event. And of course, there is a little, if you have Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Wichita State, some Midwestern team in here, you will get a little partisanship, but for the most part, they have come to root for everybody. And they really understand the game. Hit right back through the middle, base hit for McNamara. Koch reached out with a bare hand, and all the major league scouts all at once gasped.
A lot of times, a player makes a defensive mistake, and you wonder about his psyche. Well, this young man here just wants to come back and beat you. Koch just misses it now, gets a piece of the bag, flattens out, goes to center. McNamara leading off for the single. He's happy.
Yeah, you like to see the competitive instinct, but those fingers are going to make him a lot of money for a lot of time. You don't want to see him reaching with a bare hand for a shot back through the box. Jeff Guile flew to left for his first time up. Fouls that one straight back. Had some good cuts at that fastball. Guile now at 397.
McNamara and Guile, a couple of roommates. They're soulmates.
Brian Matz, the left-hander, is heating up for the Clemson Tigers. Snap throw made it close. McNamara had to dive back. He only has 7 steals on the year and has almost no lead over there at first base. Now he lengthens it out a little bit. 0-1 to Guile. Laid off the high fastball 1-1. See some of the honors that Guile collected this year and the grip for Billy Koch.
Fastball grip.
Fastball smoked in the right, base hit. Robinson comes up. McNamara's on his way to third. The throw cut off. Runners at first and third. Nobody out.
We talked about Koch when he's effective. It seems to be he's effective from the waist up. When he gets the ball down, there's a natural tendency for the ball not to run as much. And Guile doing a good job of dropping the head of the bat on the ball and finding the hole on the right side. Runners on first and third.
And for whatever physical reason, left-handers have always seemed to love the ball down, especially down and in. They're just different, aren't they?
That's the only high ball left-handed I ever saw.
Wiley Steelman, the DH, with a chance to tie the ball game, takes a called strike. He was called out on strikes in the second inning. His first trip up. In the bottom of the third, 3-2 Clemson.
Steelman's been very productive for the Cowboys this year. Good RBI man.
Fake to third, then the fake to first.
Sometimes, Mike, hitters don't really turn it up a notch until guys get in scoring position. They become much better hitters with guys in scoring position, or guys on base in general.
Hit to dead center field. Rhodes has room. He'll make the catch, but this will score McNamara easily from third base, and we're tied at 3. Steelman delivers with the sacrifice fly, his 56th RBI of the year.
Steelman getting the job done with nobody out and a man on third. He had to drop his hands and get the ball in the air to get that tying run in, and he did what he has done so well the second half of the season, and that is produce runs. There's that natural blonde with an attitude.
McNamara just scored his 100th run of the season. Runner goes, ball foul out of play, back toward us.
We are going to get a foul ball up here. You know that, Nathan.
This is a perfect place for incoming. And I'm counting on you.
3 weeks ago, I got my first foul ball at Dodger Stadium.
Did you really?
Candace and I sitting in the stands. Chuck Roy is right next to us, and they said, Michael. Houston batter up, left-handed. He fouls a low liner back about 4 rows ahead of us. And I looked at Ken, and it just kind of stood up. A guy stood up, deflected it. I caught it like 10 miles per hour. And everybody figured out it was me, and everybody standing and seeing.
Got him on the pickoff. Guile a little lazy getting back to the bag, and Billy Koch laid it right out there for Embler.
Let's watch his balance. Not quick at getting back to the bag. Perfect throw, perfect tag. 2 away.
So 2 gone and the base is empty for Holiday.
Oh, Jose! He's still nervous.
He walked his first time up. Son of the pitching coach, Tom Holiday, and academic all-league as another guy who has a 4.0 grade point average.
Gary Ward does not accept getting picked off. And that getting picked off is more of a mental mistake than a physical mistake. coach's vanity.
Bottom of the third, now tied at 3 between Clemson and Oklahoma State. This is an elimination game. The loser is gone. The winner advances in the College World Series. Just ticked foul, 1-2.
Like Josh Holliday is a youngster who has a lot of experience. Has played a lot in the summer. Obviously, his dad was pitching coach for the Cowboys. Has worked with him through the years, but he's got excellent mechanics. We talked about receivers. He has a good command of the game, understands the game, receives well. Now he's playing third base, versatile performer.
Well, Burnham just tossed another ball in the stand. Fortunately, it was not a batted ball. He's been having a lot of fun with that and all the people supporting him. Nice bounce to Butler. Serves across. Makes Inwood go out for it, but he makes the catch and the inning is over. Oklahoma State scores to tie it at 3. Update you on what has happened so far. Alabama and Miami won their opening games to move into the winners bracket. Miami has since gone 2-0, dropping Alabama back into the elimination round, where Clemson and Oklahoma State found themselves after the first game. And they are now playing this elimination game. And as Mike Martin of Florida State always says, nobody wants to go 0-2 in a barbecue. You want to win at least one and hang around Omaha for a while. High fastball to Jerome Robinson.
And for these Clemson Tigers, that has been the case in the last 8 games in the Tour Series.
Inside, Robinson has to skip back from the fastball from Sean McClellan.
Robinson is a free swinger and a streak hitter. Probably the best defensive outfielder for the Tigers.
He gets his cuts. After a high fastball there and knocked it out of play.
Sean McClellan has settled down over the last inning or so. Seems to have gotten his rhythm.
Comes inside 3-1, excuse me.
Both pitchers, McClellan and Koch, might not technically sound, just good arms, hard throwers.
Right to it. Robinson cut a fastball and didn't get it.
They do get to the professional ranks. The pitching coach here and there will start to work on the front shoulder, starting to be more compact. Better approach directly to the hitter. They both throw across their bodies a certain percentage of the time.
Off the right side, this will reach the seats. And you see it in virtually every sport. Guys who have great talent often do not have the best mechanics because they don't have to. And eventually, at some point, you got to learn the mechanics. And here's McClellan's numbers through 3 innings. 4 hits, only 1 of the 3 earned runs.
You can only get by on God-given talent to a certain point, where everybody else then has God-given talent and harder worker and mechanics becomes a win.
Robinson fans, let's take a look at the other half of the College World Series field. Florida and LSU won their opening ball games. Florida State and Wichita State have fallen into the elimination round in that bracket. And tomorrow, Florida will go against LSU. That is a 3:30 start. Brad Wilkerson and Tim Lanier, grand slams for their respective teams. So we'll have about 7 solid hours of baseball coming your way tomorrow from the College World Series. We have gotten up to about 3.5 hours a game here, it seems.
I'll take 6.
Me too. Will Duffy knocks it into right field past the diving McNamara. Duffy gets his first hit in the College World Series.
Duffy, a good disciplined hitter, steps right at the pitcher, takes the outside pitch and hooks it through the hole and right. Not exactly hitting the ball where it's pitched, but he'll take it.
Well, McNamara may not be a natural second baseman, but he gives you 100% out there. I mean, he just flings himself at it.
A Tasmanian type of attitude out there. He's whirling around. Whatever happens in this game, I'm quite sure McNamara will be the center of whatever's happening. Defensively, offensively, sliding home, getting dirty. You can tell by the hat. Take a look at that hat. That hat has character.
Rusty Rhodes, the number 9 hitter, stands in and takes. It looked like a slider that hung high.
It's like McNamara. I thought they were high tops. It's just black socks all the way down on top of the black shoes. Women's aerobic socks.
2-0. I think it was Cal State Fullerton a couple of years ago that had the ugliest looking hats you ever saw. It looked like those babies were about 5 years old and had been gotten out of a junkyard, but those were points of pride for those guys.
I remember you and I were doing those games, and it was really more superstition than anything else. They had more white sweatbands around.
Oh yeah. All 3 in a row.
White sweat salt deposits.
Tell you what, that would have been a pretty good-looking hat for that Cal State Fullerton group.
Would have been within the first week new hat.
Yeah, absolutely. 3-0 to Rhodes. Duffy at first, 1 out. Popped the corner, 3-1.
Didn't we have Long Beach State and they have the nickname the Dirtbags?
That's right. It may have been Long Beach State. I may be wrong. It may have been Long Beach State instead of Cal State Fullerton.
Well, Cal State Fullerton had it too. I think it was
okay.
a Southern California thing.
Got a wave.
That's a cutie pie.
3-1 to Rhodes, missed inside. So runners at first and second with only 1 gone here in the Clemson 4th. Rhodes has walked both times. McClellan has 2 walks and 2 strikeouts to his credit through 3 in the 3rd. There's Livingston, who is 1 for 2 and 2 for 6 in the College World Series. He singled his last time up. Ball outside.
In Clemson, you realize you've got to capitalize on this rally with 1 out, runner at second in scoring position, also a runner at first. That Oklahoma State averages 11 runs a game. You've got to keep the pressure on the Oklahoma State defense.
Ball 2, nice block by Fulmer. And McClellan has just lost the plate. Keep in mind on deck, Kurt Boltman is the on-deck hitter. Downstairs 3-0. So he's missed with 6 of the last 7 pitches. Boltman waiting his turn after rifling a home run out of here in a hurry.
Won't see a smile from Gary Ward too often this season, only if his team wins. I'm inside Gary Ward's mind now. I'm thinking to myself, 1 more walk and I've got to get somebody up in the bullpen.
Livingston with a 3-0 count, 2 runners aboard.
You let him swing?
No.
I do.
He looked like he was ready to offer at it if it was in there.
I don't think he ever takes that.
Consecutive walks from Sean McClellan. The bases are loaded and Boltman comes to the plate. When he came up first time, he smoked a line drive into the stands in left center for his 5th home run of the year. And he is 3 for 7 in the College World Series. One of those guys who comes into Omaha with under a 300 average, but has been on fire ever since this conference tournament began. These are the guys that win or lose ball games here in Omaha.
And they walk away with some kind of individual trophy because they put it all together in the 4th series.
Strike on the outside corner. Will Duffy is the runner at 3rd. Center fielder Rusty Rhodes, who walked at 2nd, and Doug Livingston, who also walked down at 1st. Only one gone here in the Clemson 4th in a tie ball game. McClellan's breaking balls have either been in the dirt or up around the batter's eyes.
Usually can tell how a pitcher is going to throw a hitter by the way the defense in the outfield lines up. You can see the center fielder almost straight away, shaded just a little to left.
Count 1-1 to Boltman.
Catch will give its location to
fastball foul back on the screen. And Brian Thomas is at work in the Oklahoma State bullpen.
McClellan knows he's in trouble. Good ratio of strikes to balls at this point, but he's starting to throw a lot of pitches at 74.
1-2 again in the dirt, and another good block by Ryan Palmer. Every one of those at this point is a potential scoring run. Part of the big crowd on hand here in Omaha. It's turned into a beautiful night.
McClellan has a pitch to waste this time at 2-2 on the hitter. Wasted away.
High fastball knocked out of play down the right field line. Bolton may have gone after ball 3.
Problem is, in this situation, normally you'd try a breaking ball away, but because he's walked the 2 previous batters, he's afraid to get into a 3-2 count.
He's sort of run out of margin for error at this point. The 2-2, that's also back out of play. Not getting around on the fastball. We're getting a piece of it. And it's time to hustle after a souvenir.
Bowman has that open stance that causes him to have to dive back into the ball. A couple of these pitches, he was just striding from a parallel stance towards the pitcher. Probably would have put the ball in play. Probably would have got it to the outfield.
That was an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. And more debris on the field. That's why we're holding up play.
Realize that once the ball leaves the pitcher's hands, it's decelerating.
Doesn't look like it.
Sure doesn't, does it? Yeah. Can you imagine if you were 4 feet away from the release point? How much faster it would be?
Yes, it would.
Scientists have proven the ball decelerates once it leaves the hand.
That's logical. That's friction, isn't it?
Yeah, friction,
gravity. 2-2, bases loaded, 1 out. Great save by the catcher. He just had to launch himself at that one.
That is one of the best saves I've seen a catcher make in a number of years. Watch this ball hit. It's going to kick up, and he actually gloves it cleanly. And great mechanics that time. Smothers it with his chest, catches the ball, and saves a run for the Cowboys. That's 2.5 feet outside the plate. That's not even close.
This would be McClellan's 26th pitch of the inning. At 3-2, and it's low. He walks in a run. 3 straight passes from Sean McClellan. And Clemson regains the lead. Boltman gets the easy RBI.
I just can't imagine Mike leaving him in this situation. My only thought is that Gary Ward feels that he will score more runs and that he wants to get at least another inning or two out of him. But when you walk 3 hitters in a row, and with the bases loaded and less than 2 outs,
right?
I mean, he's got to take something off to get it over the plate. And if I'm a hitter, I can't wait to get into the batting spots right now.
Of course, if you have watched the first couple of days of the College World Series, we have had 2 situations where we've had relief pitchers come in with the bases loaded, and the next thing they were doing was watching the guy circling the bases after a grand slam home run. I'm sure that's not part of Gary Ward's decision process.
Coaches have short memory when it's double elimination.
Matthew LaCroix with the bases loaded, takes a fastball high. He is 0 for 2. Fly to right, fly to center. Fly ball here, we get another run home.
Now you know that pitching coach went out there and said, take a little off, get the ball over the plate. If you're a hitter, you got to go up there and look for that fastball over the plate.
He didn't go up there and tell him to pick at the corners.
No. That's why as a hitter you have to think situation. You have to think logic.
Just low, 2-0. 3 straight walks for McClellan, and now he is behind LaCroix, who is the leading home run hitter and RBI man on this club. 2-0, and LaCroix is going to be guessing fastball and guessing a spot.
The catcher is giving all those signs, and he should just yell out fastball.
Strike call. And he did take something off of it, too, 85 miles an hour. LaCroix might want to see that one again.
Well, he just may.
With 2-1, that may have been out of the strike zone. He fouled it back.
Took the strike, swung at the ball. Now it's 2-2 in the count with 1 out. So is the ball up? Yes, it was. Field in double play position. Second and short. First baseman in, third baseman back.
2-2. Foul back out play.
Missed his pitch.
Clemson has already scored a run. McClellan, with walking 3 batters, has already thrown 31 pitches in this inning alone. After giving up a single, and he's thrown 84 in the game through 3 in the 3rd innings.
That's 84 pitches in an anxiety situation.
Put something up that one. Right to the foot. McKay to McNamara. Around the horn to Rosine. 6-4-3 double play. And McClellan gets out of the inning. A single and 3 walks yields only a run. We go to the bottom half of the inning, a 1-run game. Back to the College World Series as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Clemson has taken a 1-0 lead over Oklahoma State. And Tony Rosine will lead it off for the Cowboys here in the bottom of the 4th against Billy Koch.
As you can see, right field is the sun field as the sun goes down at Rosenblatt Stadium. That's why you need to wear sunglasses in right field. Left and center, there's no need. You see the shadows creeping over the grass into the dirt part of the infield. Until they get past the right fielder, it's going to be difficult to see line drives.
Rosine has occasional power. He's hit 6 home runs this year, one of them a grand slam. And with the wind blowing to right, anything up there has got a chance. But nobody's been able to take advantage of the wind so far tonight. Strike called outside corner at the knee, 2-2. He has done a fair to middling job of getting ahead of the hitters tonight. Not as well as I'm sure he wanted, or as well as Jack Leggett wanted. That was the primary goal tonight.
We had to ask ourselves, after sitting on that bench for that last rally and with the wind blowing, got to be concerned that you don't stiffen up. If you don't have great control to begin with, you're very concerned.
Koch has walked only 2 and struck out 5. 2 of the 3 runs were earned.
It's a good base on ball to strikeout ratio.
Strike 3 called. Rosine is gone. The 6th strikeout for Koch. Remember, the Clemson pitching staff had a ton of strikeouts between 3 guys in the first game.
Good backup slider. Tough angle here. Let's look at that. Seems to catch the outside black of the plate. Good pitch.
They had 19 in that first game combined between 3 pitchers. That was the second best ever. And they've had 6 tonight, so 25 in 2 games. And with that pitching staff, they have the guys who can do it. Ayler was a strikeout victim his first time up. Foul straight back, 0-2. Another kid who had a big regional, 8 of 17, 2 doubles and a triple, scored 5 times. In the College World Series, he is 1 for 5. That was a home run, but has fanned 3 times in 1 of 14. Fastball missed outside of the ball. Base is empty, 1 gone here in the bottom of the 4th. Missed again, 2-2.
That was a slider, Mike, and it looked like it was a good hard slider, and we registered it about 82. Pitcher by the name of J.R. Richard from Houston, very, very successful. Threw about 96, 97. Had a slider that was like 91 or 92.
Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Billy Koch.
Continuing to have fun throwing the ball around. Let's take a look at Koch's focus. Good rotation on that fastball. Throws it right by Ayler. That ball a little bit up. Tough to get up to that ball. Much easier to hit that low fastball.
Twice after strikeouts in this game, as they always throw the ball around the infield after a strikeout. Clemson has not only thrown it around the infield, they've thrown it around the outfield because of wild throws. And there's probably nothing more embarrassing in a situation where the ball isn't live than you can't manage to throw it around the infield.
I just tell them, don't throw it to me. They're not throw it to me. You throw it, you might throw it away, or I might throw it away. Plus, it's slowing the game down. Let's go.
2 outs. This one is skied behind the plate. Back it will reach the roof. And then back on the screen. 0-2 for Fulmer. This has been a really good inning for Billy Koch. Fulmer came on as a pinch hitter. And got an RBI, sir.
Nice game offensively and defensively.
Yes.
So far. Made some nice stops behind the plate.
Wise base hit left field. Buckman went all the way up the ladder and couldn't come up with it. So Fulmer is 2 for 2.
A pretty good hunch by Gary Ward, who brought Fulmer in to hit for Jamie Cook. We'll take a look at his stroke. Nice and flat. Takes that fastball. Gets the head of the bat on it. Just puts a line shot over shortstop.
That'll bring up Trip McKay, who has singled twice in this game, with the tying run aboard. Fulmer doesn't run all that well there at first. In the dirt, another good block. Duffy. Both catchers have been called upon to show their defensive skills early in this game.
Chris Benson, the ace of the Clemson staff. Probably a first-round pick in the coming draft.
Probably the first pick in the coming draft. Pittsburgh has the first pick. They have, at least as of last night, they had not committed themselves early.
Expressed a strong interest.
Koch is projected as high as the 5th pick. And Vining, the left-hander, the other starter on the staff, is projected as a late first-round pick. Fastball, called strike inside corner at the knees.
Fastball grip with the seams.
Just missed 2-1.
There's a two-seam fastball right there where you throw with the seams. If you return it the other way, it's known as a four-seamer. That's two seams right there. You can make the ball run in and out by the pressure you put on the two fingers.
If McKay keeps the inning alive, we'll have a pinch hitter for Sal Haney. Hit deep to short. Buckman comes up to second for the force. Got it. Nice scoop by Livingston on a throw that was low and away from the bag. So we've completed 4. It's a 1-run. Clemson lead. We talked about Midwest hospitality, but it doesn't extend to foul ball souvenirs. Kid, you're going to have to get a little bigger and a little stronger.
That man's an old hockey player. That's the best hip check I've seen since Jacquemin was knocked out of the net by Boom Boom Joffrion.
Now this young man just lost his glove. He was set there for a while, but Mom knocked it out of his hand.
He was comfy. That's a great outfit.
He may have to grow into that glove a little bit.
We got to get him a junior mitt.
Whoops.
Slap myself in the face, right?
Well, he looks eager, if not prepared. Top of the 5th, Clemson comes up with a 4-3 lead over Oklahoma State. Coming up next on the Deuce, the U.S. boxing team will continue to tune up this Olympic year when they tussle with Germany. And it all takes place in New Orleans. ESPN2 is the network for your coverage. 10:30 p.m. tonight. Jason Edward, the young man who was told coming out of high school that he would never play Division I baseball, just wasn't a good enough athlete. He has really enjoyed proving them wrong. He is the top hitter on this ball club. Coming into this game at 354, he is 0 for 2 in this one. Walks this one down the right field side, back out 1.
Just love it, Mike, when the young man is told that, well, you don't have the size, or you don't have the ability, and he says, well, I'll show you, and he works hard, and he takes his God-given skills, and he refines them, and he gets in a situation where he can make something happen, and he does.
Hasn't gotten much of a break tonight. He's hit 2 screamers, and he has nothing to show for it. And here is last year's stat. Only had 27 at-bats, 7 hits after a pretty good freshman year. But he was just in the wrong position. They had some real good players where he needs to play. And to his credit, he understood his role. Didn't become a distraction to the team. And now he gets a chance to play this year and really jumps on everybody.
No matter how well you hit in the batting cage or in batting practice, you still need to bat in a game situation against live pitching to improve. There's no substitute for it.
Breaking ball chopped toward third. The long throw. The Oklahoma State third basemen are not real quick to the ball or real quick getting rid of it.
To Holliday's credit, this was a sharp ball that he had to wait for the big bounce. And he's a catcher, not a lot of quick feet, but a strong arm. And he barely gets him. I thought he got him.
Ambler out on bang-bang play at first. Paul Galloway stands in with 1 out. Galloway 2 for 2. Deep to right, way back. The wind's helping this one. Galloway is 3 for 3. A single, a double, and now his 5th first guy all night long. He's gotten advantage out of the wind blowing the right. The former walk-on gives his club a 2-run lead.
As we've said, if you get the ball up in the air to right center with a little backspin, you got a good chance of it carrying another 20 or 30 feet. Galloway takes advantage of his fastball up. Makes that man sad. And these men glad.
Let's check in with Larry Conley. Larry, how you doing?
Hey, Mike, guess what? I'm getting ready to turn my record around. Guess where I am sitting? I'm in front of someone whose child just hit a home run. Wasn't against the pitcher. This is Michael and Diane Galloway, obviously the parents of Paul Galloway. And I was getting ready to ask you about his ability not only as an athlete, but also academically. And Diane, you just went nuts on me. How about that?
Well, today's the first time he's had a hit in the World Series, so we're pretty excited about this.
How about the reaction to the home run, though?
Wonderful. It's wonderful.
He's an outstanding student, and Mike has been talking about his academic work all night long. He is a terrific college student.
Yes, he works real hard at his studies, too. He does. He works real hard at that.
But, Mike, I think she liked that home run maybe even better than all those A's right now.
Tonight, that's more important.
You like to have a mom and a dad that know where their priorities should be.
That's right.
And they have to be thrilled. Thank you.
With a tear in her eye.
I'm sorry, I went nuts on
That's just the way it should be.
That's perfect. Absolutely. Dave Maurer will be the new pitcher as McClellan is done here as we're into the 5th inning as he gives up the home run.
Let's take another look at this swing. Really compact with his front shoulder and front knee. Extends through the high pitch. That means good backspin and just keeps on going about 10 rows back. Look at that smile.
Dave Maurer, a junior from Burnsville, Minnesota, right outside of Minneapolis. 6-2. See the earned run average, the entire staff with some pretty big numbers there. His is 5.88. More hits than innings pitched. And 27 walks and 52 runs. But as we said before, those numbers do not necessarily reflect the lack of ability on the part of the pitcher. A lot of times his teammates contribute to that heavily.
We talk, Mike, about not only physically but mentally. And this young man, I know exactly how he's feeling. I hit a couple home runs myself. And, you just feel good about what you did. You just feel good that you took a pitch and you hit it square and hit it where you were supposed to and went over the fence. And look at that, he's so happy with himself.
You're going to have to slap that smile off his face. He is just having a ball.
Jack will going to let him smile for a few more minutes and then tell him, okay, now you got to go out in the field and do it with the glove.
Pretty good night for mom and dad, too. McClellan's night is done. 4 in the 3rd inning, 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 of them earned, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. He threw 90 pitches in that 4 in the 3rd. And Gary Burnham stands in with 1 out, nobody on.
Welcome to the game.
Burnham 0 for 2 tonight. Maurer throws a split-fingered fastball. An average regular fastball. A splitter has become the pitch of the 90s. Burnham takes a fastball in. 2-1.
What pitchers will do, throw the splitter there, really force that ball between their fingers so that if they want to throw it, it's already there. And then if they want to throw a straight fastball, they'll just bring it together.
Hit in the air to shallow right. McNamara goes out. Salhouni comes in, and Salhouni calls him off and makes the catch. 2 gone. Good
isolation now. splitting the fingers. Now's when he's going to start to bring them closer together. That ball was just a legitimate fastball.
Jerome Robinson stands in. All it started with the forkball and a guy by the name of Elroy Face, the first guy I ever heard that threw it. But the forkball jammed a lot further back into the fingers, spreading the fingers wider.
It was more of as a changeup back then than it was as a legitimate variation of a fastball thrown from the same release point.
But boy, would the bottom drop out.
I think Craig really the guru of that.
Just inside.
Probably forces a lot of strain on the ligaments and tendons, and you just can't throw it for a long period of time. It's been known to really cause damage to elbows and forearms.
Right call at the knees, and it really helps to have long fingers, big hands. Here's the 3-1 from Mauer. Swing and a miss by Robinson. Young man who spent 2 years at Taft Junior College in California before coming into the Clemson program.
Fastball again.
High fastball, right back to the screen. Top of the fifth, 2 out, nobody on, a run already home for Clemson. And the Tigers lead at 5-3. Strike out. Robinson goes down swinging. Clemson now leads by 2 as we go to the bottom of the fifth. At the College World Series, championships have been won on emotion, and that was the case with Cal State Fullerton pitcher Ed Delzer. Tonight's 50-year story. He dedicated the '84 season to his father, who had been shot to death over the previous Christmas holiday. In a series dominated by hitters, the tiny left-hander faced mighty Texas in the title game. He gave up just 2 infield hits before leaving in the 8th inning with leg cramps. Ed Delzer earned the 3-1 victory, and afterward openly cried, thinking about his late father. Who says there are no good stories? They're all over the place.
Emotional story.
Yep. Wonderful stuff. And there is always something like that out here in Omaha.
Every year.
It's amazing. Danny DePace will pinch hit for Ted Salhaney. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. His first chance to look at Koch, who has scattered 6 hits and allowed 3 runs. DePace with the highest average on the team, 434. And as a pinch hitter, he's 11 for 19. That's 579. It's not bad coming in cold.
This man can hit.
Just outside.
I think one of the reasons he can hit is because of his bat position, his overall body balance. I just love it when a young player puts the bat right on the shoulder, and then subconsciously, as the ball's being released, he'll just bring it back in perfect hitting position. Nice balanced stance. Big shoulder width. Look at that. He'll shift back. Short stride.
Smokes it to third, but right at he comes up and throws him out. Hit it hard, but he's gone 5-3.
And even though he hit a shot at third, watch how smooth the swing is. Similar to Wade Boggs or Tony Gwynn. The bat's right on the hitting plane to begin with.
We've just received a note that Billy Koch is wearing a Winnie the Pooh t-shirt, and he's never lost when he's worn it. They may be selling like hotcakes later if it holds.
Well, I'm not going to poo-poo that one, I'll tell you.
Oh, that's sad.
It's my daughter's favorite character. Olivia Lauren Garvey's birthday is tomorrow. One of the things her daddy got her is a big Winnie the Pooh dining room set.
Good for you.
With all the characters.
Billy Cox can send her a shirt. Now the umpire going out to right field. Somebody was on the wall. They are going to get them down. RPA announcer Jack Payne making sure that they get down. Somebody may have brought their own refreshments.
That's right.
Here's the 3-0 loss, McNamara. Third walk for Cox, 7 strikeouts, and now he's up to 88 on the pitch count.
And normally you'd be concerned because it is the 5th inning, but it's a nice evening. It's not too hot, not too humid. He's a big, strong young man. Not whether he wears out, it's whether he starts to lose his mechanics and his release point and starts to get too far out of the strike zone.
Guile now hitting an even .400 after a 1-for-2 night, and he's 2 for 6 in the College World Series. Second team All-American from collegiate baseball, first team on the Smith Super Team. Just inside 1-0. Has 15 homers on the year and represents the tying run at the plate. Hit towards second. Livingston to Buckman. Double hit. The threat is over. We played 5 full. Clemson leads by 2. Clemson over Oklahoma State. Let's go back and take a look at the double play, Steve.
Well, this is an example of being tenacious. This ball takes a hop up, hits off the wrist, then he picks it off his chest. He smothers it, makes a good deliberate throw. Watch this now. He has to come back, find it, make a good deliberate throw to get the lead runner, and the relay to first. And Embler's great stretch, 6'4" all the way out, beats the runner. Great double play.
And got him out of the inning, and Danny DePace, who was the pinch hitter, is the new right fielder. New single game College World Series record tonight. We broke what we set 24 hours ago. 23,268 on hand here tonight at Rosenblatt. They've seen a good one.
All the games so far in the College World Series, except for today's opening game, have been very close. Decided by one swing or with some excellent comebacks.
Miami broke that one open.
Miami putting 10 runs on the board in the 3rd inning in the first game today, cruising to a 15-1 victory over Alabama.
And Gary Ward has just made another change. He has moved the pace in the left, and Guile will go to right.
It's the Gary Ward baseball chessboard out there right now.
I'm running out of room.
Running out of erasers.
Will Duffy fouls it straight back. So actually, Jeff Guile is the 4th potential right fielder that this club may use in this game tonight, as Gary Ward uses a lot of people. Hit in the air to left. DePace, who just checked into the ball game, makes the catch. One gone.
little tester for the pace right off the bat. Fortunately, it's right at it. He said that was pretty easy, and I'm going to tip my hat.
It looked like it may have knuckled on him a little bit.
A little more of a slice, I think, that time. Yeah. The wind knocks it down. Again, the wind shifting back from a little more right center from left to center. Yeah.
Rusty Rose was walked twice. Tries to punt his way on. Pops it up in the air, and the Eugene has it at first. Two quickly gone here in the Clemson sixth. This Thursday, the ladies head to East Lansing, Michigan to compete in the Oldsmobile Classic. Dale Eggling looks to win her third Classic in the second in a row. Pat Bradley, Laura Davies, and Betsy King. Some of the field who have other ideas about that. ESPN's first round coverage begins Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And East Lansing has to bring back good memories for my partner to my right.
Very much so. And of course, Walnut Hill is one of my favorite courses. My dear friend Jim Heas, a member there. And I'm quite sure he'll be out there as a marshal this coming week.
It's great golfing weather in the summer, but it is not a long season in East Lansing.
It isn't. It becomes a short fall and a long winter. They haven't had much of a spring even in the Midwest this year. Very, very short spring.
These people are coming in to see tonight's game. I'm sorry, we're sold out. 23,000. You'll have to come tomorrow. Inside, 2-1 to Livingston. 2 outs, nobody on. Here in the Clemson sixth inning, they're up 5-3. It's an elimination game. The loser 0-2 and home. Hit hard to third. Holiday let it play and still down at first. Had to back up on the ball, knocked it down, and threw him out. Clemson goes 1-2-3 in the sixth, still a 2-run ball game. Welcome back to Omaha. One of the past greats they honored this 50th anniversary weekend was Texas pitcher Bert Hooton, named to the College World Series all-time team.
I wasn't even expecting anything like this, so, you know, it is quite an honor, and it is quite a thrill. You know, not having picked up a ball competitively in 11 years, and then, you know, 26 years ago I was pitching here, and people still remember the things I did in college. You know, that is quite an honor.
And he came in just for the day, for the banquet, and 4-0 in the College World Series. Look at the ERA. Pitched for the Longhorns in 69 and 70, and there's his name up on the board with the other people picking the poll in one of the local papers as the all-time College World Series team in this 50th anniversary year. Wiley Steelman stands in 0-for-1 tonight in the Oklahoma State sixth inning. Hit to left. Burnham looked like he broke back on it and then came in to make the catch. One gone. And Billy Koch has done a good job of shutting down the very loud bats of the Cowboys of Oklahoma State.
Cowboys scored 3 runs in their first game loss and only 3 runs tonight. Gary Ward's got to be saying to himself, what happened to my #1 run scoring team in the country? But good pitching will always neutralize great hitting. And they've run up against some very good pitching.
Holiday 0-for-1. Struggled in his last 6 games. Coming into this one, he was hitting only 188 in his last 5.
Well, he's going through that adjustment period as a freshman where you usually start out hitting well, then the opposition gets the book on you and they make some adjustments and you have to readjust.
Pops this one straight back out of play. 1-2 from Billy Koch.
There are 4-year cycles both on a collegiate level and a professional level. I always tell the young players in the major leagues it's going to take you 4 years to get adjusted to the conditions, to playing every day, to the different pitchers, and it's the same in the college ranks. They play more games in high school, tougher pitching, more demands on their time.
Did you find that for yourself, or is that just a general observation?
It's a general observation, and I found that to be true to form with me as well as just about everybody else. So, there's always a period of adjustment in our lives when you're doing something new, or the pace is picked up, or you have to learn how to concentrate and refocus, and demands on your time, responsibilities.
Here's the 3-2 pitch to Holiday. Lost him.
It's not always the ability of the players that makes the difference between the amateur and professional ranks. It's all of a sudden having to play every day.
Sure.
Being used to it. You have to take care of yourself. And you always hear the word pace. You can't pace yourself, but you got to know when to rest and when to take it easy and prepare.
Tony Rosine comes up with a runner aboard and 1 out here in the 6th. Like to get Rosine to hit it on the ground. He does not run well. 4 walks, 7 strikeouts for Koch so far. Rosine, the sophomore from Dallas, Texas, transfer from Lubbock Christian. Fouls that one back out of play.
You can always tell a great fastball by the hitters being just a 100th of a second behind, and that's the way Koch is thrown today, and that's the way these Cowboy hitters have reacted.
Brian Matt's warming for the 2nd time as Koch has just gone over 100 pitches, 101 for the night. One and 2.
I don't think Jack Liggett will do too much, but he wants to be prepared by having Matt's nice and warm. He's going to go with Koch until at least, at the very worst, the score is tied.
May have tried to muscle up on that one way high, 2 and 2.
And you can see it happen. You can really see him fly open and rush the ball to the plate when he wants to get that extra oomph on the fastball.
That foul on a play count, rides at 2 and 2, 1 out, 1 on. Clemson got here last year. Lost 2 straight, beaten by Tennessee and Stanford. As we told you earlier, even though they've been here several times, they have not won a College World Series game since 1977. Jack Leggett would love to break that streak. And if they can just stay alive with this pitching staff, everybody's got to be afraid of it.
Just get a win under his belt and take a day off and recoup, and then take the next game, and you're going to have another quality starter going in that one.
He would be able to pitch Vining and then come back with Benson. Top foul out of play, and Rosine wasting a lot of good pitches.
A lot of ifs in this game. Right now, the Cowboys down 5-3. Clemson up by 2. Look at the signs. One usually means fastball.
They throw away, trying to get Holiday. And hit Cruz into second base. Well, that takes away the double play possibility. Neither Holiday nor Rosine run well. So Clemson has really done Oklahoma State a big favor.
Guy throws across his body here, throws it too low and towards the runner. Difficult for the right-handed first baseman Embler to get the glove on the ball. And the runner's in the way. He's got to go around him. Can't quite reach it. And it goes down the line.
Livingston had to chase it down. That's a throwing error on Billy Koch. And he still has a 3-2 count to Rosine.
See, there's no reason why for him to throw over. Holiday was not going to be going.
Not in this lifetime. Struck him out on a foul tip. So he gets Rosine for the second out, his 8th strikeout of the game. You have a feeling that might be a fastball with a little heat on it after he threw that one away.
A little heat again. He's more effective up because the ball has a tendency to sail. And it does just that. Ball takes off and explodes into the mid. Rosine just barely ticks it.
91-mile-an-hour fastball, and it leads it up to Brian Ayler. He's got that Gibson-like finish. Throwing across. Ayler is 0 for 1. Or 0 for 2. Struck out swinging both times.
Ayler makes contact, though. I like his stance, the way he approaches it.
Hits this one straight up in the air in the infield. Baldwin, the shortstop, makes the call, makes the catch. We played 6 full. Clemson behind Billy Koch, hanging on to a 2-run lead. On top 5-3 as we go to the top of the 7th. Scoring came early in this ball game, and we'll update you on what's happening with the other teams. Alabama and Miami won their opening games. Miami now the only 2-0 club in the College World Series so far. Alabama lost its first and falls into the elimination round. They'll play the winner of this game between Clemson and Oklahoma State. The loser is gone. A record crowd on hand tonight at Rosenblatt, more than 23,000. We had 22,100 something last night to set a record. Broke it tonight. May do the same thing the rest of the week.
We continue to get good games like this, and even though today Miami broke it open, it was still a tremendous 10-run inning. These games have been very close because the whole tournament has 8 teams that anyone could win it.
In the last few years, we have had so many dramatic comebacks. 4 or 5-run leads are not safe at all. And action in the Oklahoma State bullpen. Ryan Thomas and Ryan Graves, as Gary Ward knows, he has to keep it close. And Boltman quickly in an 0-2 hole. Ward made several personnel moves early in this game. A couple of pinch hitters, defensive shifts, moving players from third to first, exchanging right and left fielders. Bolton just got people to stay alive. He's 1 for 2 tonight.
He believes that if he stays close to the opposing team, that the game will come back to him. He can force the opposing pitcher to get over 90 pitches in 6 innings, and that pitcher will eventually start to wear out. His team is that good and hits the ball that well that they will catch up and win.
Clemson's pitchers are trying to prove him wrong, and Billy Koch may be the guy to do it. Took something off, missed outside.
Well, it comes a point where that philosophy doesn't work because the opposing pitcher is a horse and so strong that he can throw 125, 30, 35 pitches and still keep it over 90. At this point, Koch is still over 90.
Hasn't lost a thing. Chop towards short. Trick McCall. Makes the play. 1 gone. Dave Maurer on in his 2nd inning of relief. Let's check in with Larry Conley. Larry?
Thanks, Mike. I'm down here, and we were talking about the all-time team here at the College World Series. I want to introduce you to somebody else who made that team. His name is Mike Day, and he played at Oklahoma State from 1982 until 85. And Mike, congratulations, and we'd love to have your reaction being named to this team.
Thank you very much. Just very, very surprised to begin with. They didn't make the all-tournament team at any time. I feel like I was very fortunate to be with some good people at a time in Oklahoma State's baseball program that were very strong, and leaned on them a lot. Played with guys like Incaviglia and Farrell and Henneman, and learned a lot from them, and made it pay off for myself.
How about some memories from this College World Series?
Well, I remember striking out against Roger Clemens. My first pinch hit as a freshman. I don't think I saw the ball till about the 3rd pitch. I remember playing New Orleans, the 10th inning, and Incaviglia hitting a 2-strike double over a right fielder's head to win the ball game. Finishing 3rd our junior year, having a chance to win the whole thing. Probably the only regret is not having won the whole thing for Coach Ward. So a lot of very nice memories.
Okay, Mike. Well, thanks a lot. Mike, I tell you, he had one great line. He says, I looked at that list of players on there. He says, mine was the only name I didn't recognize.
Baseball.
That's great. Well, a lot of people will recognize it now. Matthew LaCroix grounded out to Rusty McNamara for the second out. Larry, thanks very much. I don't think the average fan can get a grasp of what that means to a player to be selected to an all-time team or an all-decade team. It's one of the greatest honors you can receive.
Obviously, the Hall of Fame is the ultimate for any sport or any situation, but an all-time team is just the next best thing. It's a tremendous recognition for accomplishment.
Embler hits it on the nose again, right at Jeff Guile. Will go to the bottom of the seventh, a 2-run lead. Yes, sir. You got to go Cowboys, down 2 as we go to the bottom of the seventh. If you haven't been with us, our Nike storyline from the College World Series. Clemson with a 2-run lead. Paul Galloway has gone 3 for 3 with a home run. Billy Koch, a strong first 6 innings, giving up only 2 earned runs, fanned 8. And the Clemson pitching staff, between 4 guys, 27 strikeouts in 2 games. This is the best pitching staff in the country. 3 #1 draft choices. And still, they're fighting to stay alive here in Omaha. Ryan Fulmer starts it off in the 7th. He is 2 for 2. Came in as a pinch hitter. His first at bat had an RBI single and singled to left his second time up. After him, we'll go back to the top of the order and shortstop Trip McKay.
Billy Koch throwing a good slider down that time because Fulmer has taken 2 of his fastballs, pulled 1, hit 1 to left. It's 2-2 against him.
Did you always feel you had an advantage the third time around with a pitcher?
Very much so, Mike. Unless I swung at the first pitch to prior to it. And invariably, I would get a hit swinging with first pitches like that because I would guesstimate. But the more you see, the more you see the ball released from a certain location and the timing, the better hitter you're going to be.
Fulmer really with only 109 at-bats this season. So he's been backed up for Holiday behind the plate. Came in with a 248 average, but 2 for 2 tonight. And the moves that Gary Ward made earlier with his pinch hitters have paid off. Wrapped to short. Boltman with a long throw and got it. 1 gone here in the 7th. And now back to the top of the order. Coming up this Thursday, it's the ultimate inline challenge on ESPN2. Ice skating without the ice. Hit the road with the best in the world as they compete in the ultimate inline challenge. Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern on the Deuce. But you do that too, don't you?
The family does.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We haven't talked you into it yet.
I'm like the coach that sits behind the hockey bench.
McKay draws the infield in as he squared around the puck.
Do all the girls in Candace get on the rollerblades and they'll push Ryan in one of those little joggers, 3-year-old joggers.
Trip McKay 2 for 3 tonight, and Koch not showing any chinks in the armor. He has 2 complete games this year.
And he seems to be tightening up his control, seems to be staying within himself, more compact than a couple of the earlier innings.
He's thrown 116 pitches, but he's getting ahead of the hitters. Bolton long throw. Made Jason Embler stretch for it, but he got it. And if a guy with his stuff gets ahead 1-2 or 0-2, I don't care how good a hitter you are, it's going to put you in a real deep hole.
Yeah, and that reaction time with that 90-plus fastball. Now, this is the difference between a 6'4" first baseman like Embler and a 5'10" first baseman like myself. See how he used the bag and got another 2 or 3 inches and caught this ball where the normal first baseman would have had to jump for it.
You'd have gotten it, wouldn't you? 0-1 to Danny DePace, grounded out as a pinch hitter his first time up. Still hitting .420, the highest on the club, although that was only 100 at bats. All 6 hits off of Cox have been singles, and this is immediately called foul. Plate umpire Tom McKinney right on it.
Those hurt. Trying not to show pain, but let's see where this ball comes off the bat into his foot. Right on the instep. Better on the instep than on the actual toes. It goes numb on you. And the most exciting element of the next few seconds is when you hit it fair and you start to run.
0-2 to DePace. Hit hard down the left field line. Burnham hustling over. Can't get it, but cuts it off. DePace makes the big turn. Great play by Burnham. Holds it to a single. Burnham really hustled to get that ball spun and fired. And DePace made the wide turn and then held.
This great play by Burnham could have turned out to be a disastrous play because he ends up catching it behind him. So circling it and coming into it, he holds the runner to a single, makes a great. See how he goes back. If that ball gets by him, that's at least a triple.
McNamara stands in 1 for 2, fouled it straight back. Until that single, this had really been, I think, the most impressive inning for Koch. He had thrown everything for strikes, gotten ahead of everybody. Gives out the 2-out single here, his 7th hit allowed, but they've all been singles.
Mike, I have a feeling that the Cowboys have to hit the long ball to take advantage of Koch. They can't seem to be able to get the runners on base. So Oklahoma State is just going to have somebody with a guy on by a walk or a single like that and hit one over the wall to get them tied again.
Well, this is the guy, McNamara, with 19 homers on the year and 89 RBIs. Had to reach for one, fouled it back out of play, and he's down 0-2.
Keeping your pitches within the strike zone, getting ahead of the batters, these are all keys to success for a pitcher. And you've got the velocity and the movement of the ball like Koch does. That's why he's ahead 5-3 at this point.
In strikeouts per 9 innings, Koch is second in the country, 12.3 a game. Looking for another one here, and overthrew that.
Now, as a hitter with 2 strikes on you and 1 ball, you really have to focus on making that ball be in the strike zone. You've got to cover the plate. In fact, you have to sacrifice some power in the situation to make sure you make contact.
McNamara, even with his power, is an excellent contact hitter. Reached for that one to stay alive and smacked it right into the dugout.
See, that takes a tremendous amount of concentration to take that pitch that was almost by him and still get the bat on. Watch this. Goes out, just fights it right into the dugout. This guy is a battler right here.
Got the Clemson dugout alive.
They call the pitches from the dugout.
1-2 to McNamara, bottom of the 7th. 1 on, 2 out. They're down a couple of runs. Fought that one off and knocked it out of play.
Stonehand! What Duffy wants is he wants his pitch outside. And Koch can't quite deliver it. Like a guy who's got some control and stays within himself and just paints it outside because he's slinging the ball now. He really wants to throw it by McNamara. He doesn't want to get him out. He wants to strike him out. Be very careful that you don't succumb to that desire to strike a guy out and choke the ball and so the guy hits it. Now see, he sets up outside.
Pitch came inside and it's lined to center field. Rhodes takes it on 2 hops. DePace stops at second base.
It was a great batter on pitcher challenge, and McNamara won that by staying tenacious and Koch backing up the slider. See, it just flattens out, doesn't break. McNamara stays in there, uses his hands, gets the head of the bat on the ball. Slashes at the center.
Brian Matz is up to begin to warm again for the Clemson Tigers. Koch has gotten in nearly half of his first pitches, and I think this is going to give Matz just a little time to warm up.
Take a little time, talk it over. Probably got directions from the dugout. If he was told to go out, talk to him. That's warming up quickly. Now Liggett will come out.
127 pitches tonight for Billy Koch. And he'll be facing the left-handed batter Jeff Guile.
And I'll be surprised if he leaves him in simply because of that righty-lefty situation.
Guile 1 for 3 tonight. It's a single.
They're really just taking up time right now. Liggett talking to his infielders. That's a congregation on that.
Yes, it is.
Or a small parish from where I come from. See, he had to go now to the bullpen because of the righty-lefty confrontation. Koch was overthrown at the end, and then the velocity he had last inning.
Billy Koch, a fine performance, 6 2/3, gives up 2 earned runs, is responsible for the 2 men aboard. He'll get a fine hand as he leaves, not only from the Clemson faithful, but a sellout crowd of 23,000 and a nice greeting from his teammates. He has put his team in a position to win the ball game. We'll check out the pitching change when we come back to Omaha. Welcome back to Omaha. We have a good ball game here. Clemson leading it by 2 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. But Oklahoma State with 2 on and 2 out and has forced the pitching change to left-hander Brian Matz, the junior from Towson, Maryland. This is his 11th relief appearance of the year. He has 4 saves, an ERA of 4.65. Pitched well in a regional against Tennessee.
And Brian Matz will come right over the top with the fastball. Got a curve and a slider.
It has not been the best of College World Series for relief pitchers as a group. A lot of them have come out of the pen and been lit up by the first batter. He'll face Guile, co-player of the year and newcomer of the year in the Big 8 conference. 1 for 3 tonight.
Excuse me. If Jack Liggett and his Clemson Tigers win this game, it's because he made this change right now.
Hit easily to short to throw. Nice scoop at first by Embler. The inning is over. So Matz does the job. 1 pitch, 1 out into the inning and preserves the 2-run lead.
See what
5-3 Clemson over Oklahoma State as we go to the Clemson half of the 8th inning. Paul Galloway will lead it off. And he lit up this place in the 5th inning with his 5th home run of the year. And guess who got to see it live? Mom and Dad.
That's an early Father's Day gift.
And they even admitted that that was more important than his 4-0 in mechanical engineering. And I think that's really big of Mom and Dad to do that.
For tonight.
For tonight only, yes.
Yeah.
He still has not graduated, even though he's had 8 straight semesters of 4-0 in mechanical engineering. They tell us he has a lab course left. If he hits 1 more home run and Clemson stays in the World Series, he may get to walk past that lab class.
Sure, because it's in nuclear science.
Galloway 2 for 3. Excuse me, 3 for 3. Single, double, home run. And here's one of these guys who came in as a 280 hitter and becomes a hitting star.
He needs what for the cycle? He needs a triple.
the rarest of rarest. How many times have you seen guys have a single, double, and a home run, and they could spend the rest of their career before they got a triple?
That's right.
Or even before they wanted one.
And, you know, I've seen guys who've had just the opposite, the home run, triple, and double, and they'll be bunding to try to get that last one.
He's had 2 triples this year. There are his parents saying, well, let's see what else you can do, son. Ripped that one, but it's fine.
You know, that's where you want to go for a triple, is down the right field line.
Leads the team in doubles. 21 on the year. He is 3 for 6 in the College World Series, hitting .500. Great story for a former walk-on and a 4.0 student. Clemson would feel much more comfortable if they could get something started here in the 8th and 9th. That's it toward the hole.
Not the triple, but Dad's just as happy. 7-12. He leads off this inning. You know, he's hit the ball where it's been pitched all night long. Now he takes the pitch up and over the plate and hooks it through the hole. Mom takes a break and Dad does the standing ovation.
He may get a couple of nights off from the books, you know? Galloway, the number 2 base stealer on this club, 9 out of 12. And Bond is married on the sacrifice. They let it roll foul. That bunt looked good for a long time. Wichita State bullpen still active. Thomas and Graves. Excuse me, Oklahoma State. Graves is the left-hander. Burnham is 0 for 3. Lined out, grounded out. Hit the ball pretty hard his last time up to right field.
I've just been waiting for him to get that hit.
Where the bunt again, this time down the third baseline, foul again. So Burnham couldn't get the sacrifice down in 2 tries, and he's in an 0-2 hole.
Now, if this was Oklahoma State or if this was Miami, he would try to bunt again because that's their philosophy. We will continue until we execute the situation.
Certainly, if it was Miami under Ron Frazier, he'd be bunting, and maybe the next guy would be bunting.
Yeah, but Jim Morris, too, feels the same way. He said, even if we don't execute with the first 2 strikes, we'll try it again because that's what we're supposed to do.
Let's see what Jack Leggett will call here, 0-2. Bunt was off.
What happens sometimes in this situation is instead of bunting on the next pitch, he'll send the runner just to get him going. Wants to get that runner in scoring position.
Burnham really doesn't strike out that much. Burnham has had no luck whatsoever tonight. He strikes the ball 3 times. That time lines into a double play.
Watch this ball ricochet right off his bat and just handcuff Holiday. Easy throw to first.
Break for Oklahoma State.
If Burnham or Embler had any luck at all tonight, both guys batting between them 7 line drives.
Swing and a miss by Jerome Robinson. Really, you look back to the sacrifice. If he gets the sacrifice down, you have 1 out and a runner at second. Instead, he has to hit after missing 2 attempts and lines into the double play.
Execution of the fundamentals. Championship teams execute the fundamentals.
Robinson fouls this one back out of play off of Dave Morris. Morris saved the game against Arkansas in the Central 2 Regional. Not in a position to save this one yet, but trying to keep his club close so they can come back and win it for him. 2 outs in the Tiger 8th. They're up by 2. Nobody aboard for Jerome Robinson. In the air to right field. Easy play for Guile. Just makes the catch. The line drive double play really helps out Oklahoma State. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 5-3 Clemson. Here's the score as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Clemson on top of Oklahoma State, 5-3. Brad Wilkerson's clutch 7th inning grand slam gave Florida a 5-2 victory yesterday over Florida State. And then LSU's Tim Lanier matched him with a grand slam of his own to lead the Tigers to a 9-8 win over Wichita State. So it's the Gators and the Tigers in the winners bracket. That's tomorrow on ESPN at 3:30. Then we'll switch to the deuce for our second elimination game between Florida State and Wichita State. Second game, I am told, not on the deuce. It is on ESPN, so don't be confused. Check your local listings, as they say. Jamie Wood stands in as a pinch hitter against Matz. He's a .326 hitter. In his last 3 games, he's 5 out of 7 at .714. Hitting for Wiley Steelman.
We're down to 6 outs, Mike, for this Oklahoma State Cowboy team. You see a little bit of the tension building in their dugout.
And Gary Ward pushing all the buttons he can going through his roster. Wood will be followed, at least scheduled to hit Holiday and Rosine. Gary Ward has had a lot of frustration here at the College World Series. Come here many times and never been able to walk away with a championship. 1 and 2 from Matz. Koch hoping that Matz can save this game for him. He can get the victory, keep Clemson alive with a brilliant pitching staff. As long as they are alive, they are to be feared by the rest of this College World Series field.
That's his #1 fan now is Bill Koch.
High fastball, 2-2.
Gary Ward needs is his players to make that ball be down. These base runners.
Pitch circle up, hit back up the middle, through the center field, base hit for Jamie Ward. You got to hand it to Gary Ward when he sends a pinch hitter up there. The guy comes through, doesn't he?
He's had some great offensive hunches tonight, and with Fulmer and now Woods. He said the ball had to be down. He throws the curveball, and it is down. Hits the ball right through the middle. Even though Matz is in good fielding position, the ball's hit too hard. And it goes to center for a single.
Livingston gave it the big dive, but even if he comes up with that ball, he's not going to be able to throw him out. Josh Holiday, the freshman from Stillwater, has walked twice, 0 for 1 officially, grounded to the shortstop. Kurt Bolton.
Now Oklahoma State is 1 swing away from tying the game.
There's the Maytag repairman, David Shepard, the closer. On a staff like this, he has not gotten many opportunities. Fastball on the corner for strike 1-1 from Brian Matz.
The mentality for Oklahoma State is still to take a strike, make that pitcher get the ball over the plate.
Clemson trying to break a College World Series losing streak that dates back to 1977. And they have to do it to stay alive.
It's a nail biter.
That's out of play. and 2 to Holiday. Runner at first, nobody out here in the 8th, and Holiday represents the potential tying run at the plate. Jamie Wood had delivered the pinch hit single, cheering him on from first base. This is not a fast team. They need to hit their way around. They're not going to outrun anybody. Took something off, hit back up the middle. Boltman gets the force and nearly got the double play out of a really slowly hit ball. Nice play by Boltman.
We haven't talked too much about the defense of Clemson, but Boltman has played solid all night long. And he takes a difficult ball that's chopped up the middle and still gets one with a nice little toss. Guaranteed one. Try for first. Too late. That's Boltman with 2 hands. I like that. Scoops it to second. And then probably shouldn't have thrown. Probably shouldn't take the chance.
He has done a real nice job as a freshman shortstop for the Clemson Tigers. And now Dean Kent will be a pinch hitter for Tony Rosine. Kent, a right-hander. It's 373. I'll tell you, there's some numbers on this club.
Dean Kent from a great baseball family out of Tampa, Florida. David Kent, his father. Jeff Kent, his brother.
Good stop by Duffy.
A lot of good instincts and a lot of good athletic abilities. About 6'4". Very quiet young man. Jerry Ward has worked on his intensity and his focus.
One of 3 transfers from the University of Florida. Hits it foul down the right field side back into the stands. 1-1.
Matt sneaking fast. Nice smooth delivery, but the ball pops up there.
1-1 to Kent. A runner on with 1 man out here in the 8th. Fastball too high, 2-1.
Look at your beer right here, bro.
Kent has only had 51 at-bats coming into this game on the season. Tough position to put him in.
Ward's punches have paid off at the plate so far tonight. Will it happen again?
3-1. Brian Ayler, the center fielder, on deck.
This is a situation you look for as a young player. You've heard about Omaha and the College World Series. Now you get a chance to pinch hit, and all of a sudden you're ahead in the count. Down by 2 runs.
Foul back out of play to the right side, and nobody getting around very well on Matt's 3-2.
Kent had his pitch that time. Just probably 3 hours of waiting on the bench stiffened him up a little bit, but he got a good cut at it. Now with a count of 3-2 and 1 out. Max will give him something to hit. Good fastball from the catcher.
Foul out of play again. Back over the stands in right field. Outfield not playing him to pull. Matt's muscled up a little bit on that one. 88 miles an hour on the fastball, which is about the top of his range.
He's got good mechanics. Even from a stretch like this, he can throw just about the same velocity. Kent shouldn't look for anything more but a fastball.
Another 3-2. Foul back out of play.
Now this works to the hitter's advantage. The more pitches he sees, the more he's going to get the bat speed up to match the speed of the fastball.
He has seen 7 pitches so far from the left-hander Brian Matz.
Take a look at where the catcher sets up. The fastball. Up over the plate.
That was fouled straight back. That may have been his best cut in this at bat.
Ball was a little bit in on him that time.
The ever-present Judge gun showed us 87 on that one.
Good mano-a-mano matchup right here.
Critical point in the game, 1-on-1 out, 3-2 count, bottom of the 8th, down by 2 runs.
It is, you know it's coming.
Foul out of plays, hit 3 balls, foul in exactly the same spot down the right side. So Matz keeps delivering up the good fastballs, and Dean Kent continues to waste them.
Like we said, with each pitch, he's going to get faster, bat speed, and catch up with this ball eventually.
Has 1 home run this year, if you're thinking in that direction. Here comes another 3-2 pitch. Took something off the mitt. Dean Kent barrels his way to a base on ball. And now we'll send Will Duffy out to talk to his pitcher, Brian Matz.
That young man accomplished something right there simply by the discipline of taking a ball that was a little bit out of the strike zone, not swinging at it, accepting the walk.
If this game goes extra innings, Gary Ward is going to be out of players. He's sending up Jay McCullough, a freshman from Frederick, Oklahoma, to hit for Brian Ayler. McCullough hitting .308 on the year.
But it doesn't matter, being down by 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's no need to save anybody or anything else but these last 5 outs.
Matz in the dirt. Duffy with the stop. Duffy's been the personal catcher for Koch. He stays on to catch Matz, and Shepard should be ready in the Clemson bullpen. 1 out, 2 runners aboard. Straight toss, 1-1.
I'm not so sure, Mike, that leaving the left-hander in to face the right-hander is the best possible move in this situation. Jack Leggett brought the left-hander Matz in to replace Koch. And he did the job, but now he's facing a right-handed hitter.
There would be a left-hander to follow. Fulmer is the scheduled hitter, but being scheduled in Gary Ward's lineup doesn't mean much, does it?
Doesn't mean the paper will.
1-2, and Steve Hartsburg has moved out on deck. Hartsburg, a right-hand hitter.
Always my closer to get a batter on the mound, to get loose, to get adjusted to the mound.
1-2 to McCullough. Tried to muscle up on a fastball and was high. 2-2. A lot of pressure on a freshman pinch hitter, Jay McCullough. Sent up by Gary Ward. 2-2, bottom of the 8th.
Man's mind is not thinking necessarily about the hitter. He's also thinking 1 or 2 batters ahead of this situation.
Took something off again, Scott in the air to right, and it's going to twist foul back into the stand. Count rides at 2-2. Steve, you're so right in making that point. It is not necessarily this specific guy. It's trying to get to a point sometimes in your lineup later. He's still got the 9th inning to play. He keeps talking continually about, I want to turn the lineup over, get back to the guys he counts on.
Wants to get back to 1 through 5. And this is only the bottom of the 8th. We said time was running out. This is a crucial situation where he's got a chance to score runs. He wants to capitalize on it.
In the dirt, no stop again by Duffy. The pinch hitters tonight, 2 singles, a walk, and a ground out. That ball gets by Duffy. The tying run would have been at second base. And it's now 3-2 on Jay McCullough.
Max took a little loss against Kent and walked, and he's got to come back with a fastball.
He didn't foul.
Just missed that ball. It was a good swing on a low fastball right where he wanted it. McCullough, low ball hitter.
Yes, it is getting a little tight here in Omaha. Bottom of the 8th, 2-run game. Max has thrown 25 pitches in this inning. Twisting back in the wind will push it into the stands. We got to say one thing about Max. Nobody has gotten around on him and hit the ball hard.
I'm really surprised that in situations where you can guesstimate that 95% of the time it's going to be the fastball, these fellas still haven't gotten around on it. Which means, like I said before, he seems to be sneaking fast. These pinch hitters who come up who sat around for 3 hours just can't seem to quite get up to the 88-mile-an-hour fastball.
This will be the 27th pitch of the inning, and it seems that half of them have been on 3-2 counts.
Walker sets up a little bit inside.
Look that cross. Boy, and Max is really upset. Boy, how do you take that pitch?
I don't know how you can take that pitch, and I don't know how you can call that pitch a ball. If it's supposed to be up, it's barely up. I see it as number high over the plate.
Brian Max up to strike 3. So did Jack Leggett. Bases loaded, 1 out. And they're going to send up who? Corey Smith, number 12, will hit for Fulmer. And they waited to make the pitching change until Smith was announced as the pinch hitter. So Fulmer is gone.
I don't really know how you can not go to Shepard in this situation. After Matz has walked the previous 2 pinch hitters. Remember, there's 1 out with bases loaded.
Well, Matz is going to stay. And Shepard will just look on from the bullpen. So Corey Smith, a 208 hitter. 3 doubles, 2 triples, his only extra base hit. The team has had 12 grand slams this year. He doesn't have one of them. He doesn't even have a solo shot.
Got to be aggressive with the pinch hitter, Jeff swinging.
Takes a ball inside. The 6th pinch hitter tonight. And Billy Koch wanted that last strike called as much as Brian Matz did. The game riding in the balance here. Hit deep down the right field line, but slicing, and it's foul.
That ball would have been out of here if it had stayed fair. With the wind blowing from left to right, again, balls hit to right are going to carry farther.
Corey Smith with a 208 average and no home runs jacked that one up a little bit. Perhaps one of the reasons they didn't make the pitching change here is that Smith is a switch hitter. You bring in the right-hander, he just goes to the other side. But I, too, expected to see Shepard.
You got to give the ball to the ace, the guy that closes the game for you. You don't want to bring him in too early sometimes, but against this team that leads the nation in run production, been known to come from behind to manufacture runs.
31st pitch of the inning coming from Brian Matz. Inside ball 3. And the Cowboy fans on their feet.
Well, even though this is a disciplined Cowboy team, if I was Smith, there's only one pitch Matz is going to throw me, and that's a fastball.
1 out, bases loaded.
There's the character of that team.
In that card strike, too. Did you see Will Duffy? Not only did he give him a target, he shook it at him. Right here, buddy. The 3rd straight batter he has gone to a 3-2 count on. Now, you can look in the dugout all you want. If this is anything but a fastball, I'm out of here.
You can look in the dugout.
The bases are still loaded, and we'll go back to the top of the lineup and Trip McKay. And all the moves Gary Ward worked, and here is Billy Koch seeing it perhaps slipping away.
And he threw that tape at about 92 miles an hour, and they saw it on the ground.
And here comes Jack Leggett to make the change to Shepard. He may have a couple of choice comments on the way out and back, going back to the last hitter. We will give you the particulars on reliever David Shepard when we come back to the College World Series. Clemson over Oklahoma State, bottom of the 8th inning, bases still loaded for the Cowboys. Here's the last 3-2 pitch, ball 4. And Brian Matz, I don't think so upset about that call as the previous batter on what appeared to be a strike, and he gives the home plate umpire an earful when he leaves. Thought he had McCullough struck out. And David Shepard, the closer for this ball club. 5 saves, number 1 on the staff, a 2.16 ERA. He has made 1 appearance in the College World Series. Those are his season's numbers. Went 1 inning, gave up a hit, no runs, walked a pair and struck out 2. And what he can't afford right here is any kind of base on balls, because that would tie it up. This is an elimination game. Clemson and Oklahoma State both lost their opening round games, and trying to join Alabama at 1-1. The winner of this game will meet the Crimson Tide in another elimination game. That's the danger in this tournament. You lose your first one, you're on the edge the rest of the time. Miami is the only undefeated team. Koch still hoping that the bullpen can pull it out for him. Shepard to face Trip McKay, who is 2 for 4, a pair of singles. The infield will go to double play depth. Shepard with a good fastball, but maybe his best pitch is a curve. Right now, his best pitch would be a strike.
Got an 88 to 91 mile an hour fastball, but his real out pitch is a great curve.
Fastball in there, strike 1 call to Trip McKay.
Bill Koch and Jack Leggett both want Shepard to come in and throw strikes.
McKay is the most patient hitter on the team. He leads the nation in walks. So any way he can get on would work for Oklahoma State. Shepard misses badly on one. Max has come back out into the dugout to be with his teammates.
As he should be.
His heart's got to be in his throat.
Tough situation coming out of the bullpen, facing a very disciplined hitter. A contact hitter wants to get the ball up in the air.
Ball two. Shepard had walked only 10 in 24 innings of work coming into the College World Series while striking out 29. But in that one inning of relief in the first game, he walked 2. McKay with 76 walks this year, #1 in the country.
After sets up outside.
Ball 3. A relief pitcher must make the other guy hit the ball in a situation like this, especially what's happened earlier in this inning. You can't walk.
What's happened to Shepard is he's overthrown the last couple of pitches. Now he's got to settle down, stay with himself, and get the ball over the plate regardless.
McKay hits it to right. Robinson has it. Kent tags at third. And he will score with tied at 5. Trent McKay got a 3-1 pitch that he could pull and hit it deep enough to drive home the tying run.
And McKay does exactly what we talked about he had to do, and that's get the ball in the air far enough to get the run in from third to tie this game. He's a disciplined hitter, handles the bat well, took that ball up and deposits to right field, and Kent comes in scoring easily.
McCullough advanced to third on the play, so runners at first and third with 2 out. For Danny DePace, who is 1 for 2, came in as a pinch hitter, singled his last time up. 5-5 ball game. Hit towards second base. Livingston with the easy force. Clemson gets out of the inning, but the Cowboys of Oklahoma State making one move after another and tied it at 5. Yeah, right. Eight full in the College World Series between Clemson and Oklahoma State. We are tied at 5. The Cowboys get 2 in the bottom of the 8th. Gary Ward pulled out all the stops, and I mean all of them. And he has his team tied at 5-5. A little wry smile on his face right now.
Certainly he didn't smile unless he won the game, but he essentially won the battle that time by getting 2 runs on only 1 hit but 3 walks. The discipline he's pounded into his team worked that time.
Clemson ninth against David Marr, who's done a nice job coming out of the bullpen. Hit in the air to left. Kent settles under it and makes the catch. DePace, excuse me. Kent is in right. Several defensive changes for Gary Ward as we start this inning. Kent went to right field. Holiday moves from third back behind the plate. Smith goes to third base, and McCullough is the new first baseman. Well, now, Eric, tomorrow, I'm batting the road. DeMora will be the pinch hitter for center fielder Rusty Rhodes. With one out here in the ninth. DeMora, 276 hitter. He's a graduate student. Started some games at second base when Livingston was out with a broken jaw. To DeMora, the junior from Taunton, Massachusetts.
The pressure was on the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. I think it's turned around now where the pressure is on Clemson. And having won in 8 previous games, letting that 5-3 lead slip away with Bill Koch and tremendous performance going for naught.
Inside, ball 3 from Mallard to DeMora. Graves and Thomas are up again in the Oklahoma State bullpen here in the ninth inning. Doug Livingston on deck for the Clemson Tigers. Loops and the second baseman McNamara back on the grass makes the catch, 2 gone.
On top of the Tigers, number 4, Doug Livingston, second base.
This will get Livingston back up to the plate. Nobody on and 2 out. Livingston is 1 for 3. Single, struck out, ground out, and walked. Like the crowd is collecting itself a little bit now after all that excitement in the bottom of the 8th.
In a tense 15 to 20 minutes.
It really was.
Shortstop and second base. McKay and McNamara on the grass. I've been very impressed with Mallard, the way he's come in and shut down Clemson. They're under control, throwing strikes. Good movement within the strike zone. Catcher sets his inside.
He's made some quality pitches.
He's really thrown to the net and done a very good job at it. Livingston isn't convinced that that was a strike.
In the top of the ninth, and we'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Oklahoma State with a chance to win it here at the College World Series. As we go to the bottom of the ninth, Clemson against Oklahoma State, and the Tigers have a new center fielder, Antrell McCray, very good defensive player, is out there taking the spot of Rusty Rhodes. Rusty McNamara will lead it off. Here in the ninth, 2 for 3, has the average up to 363. And the wind is howling again to right.
McNamara can hit the ball in both alleys and the opposite way.
Clifford hangs a breaking ball.
Goes to the McNamara. Always seems to be in the center of the storm, and he was a big catalyst in last inning's rally.
Hit on the ground is short. Beckman. 1 gone. Oklahoma State had another ninth inning thriller in the opening game. They had the lead on Alabama, but the Crimson Tide with some dramatics in the ninth inning. Moeller with a big home run. taking a page out of the Oklahoma State book. And now Oklahoma State trying to turn the tables, this time on Clemson. Guile 1 for 4. Takes a strike call.
Bottom of the ninth situation with a guy up with some power. Any reason why you should take a pitch or anticipate a bunt or fake a bunt like that. You've got to go up swinging. Guile's got power. He's facing the right-hander. He's left-handed.
Hit hard but foul. 0-2. Shepard has allowed only 1 earned run in his last 11 appearances. This is his 12th. So he's done a fine job, even though the pitching staff is so good, he didn't even get a chance to pitch in the regionals. So getting the inning of work in the opening game may have been really good for him.
But it says something about the game, Mike, when a great pitching staff like this is just holding on by a bare thread.
I think it may say something about aluminum bats, too.
Yes, sir. Surely think so.
Well, with all the money that rolls around in collegiate athletics, you think we could still have wooden bats. I know they're expensive, but still haven't gotten used to that sound. Very close on a breaking ball, 2-2.
Shepard does an excellent slider that time. Backdoor slider that just hung out there a couple inches too much.
Right here, here we go, down. Come on, Nate, here we go, down.
With 2-2 to Jeff Guile. Inside another 3-2.
One of these times, the Clemson pitcher gets behind, it's going to hurt him.
Guile certainly has the power. He doesn't even need the wind blowing to right. 15 homers, 80 RBIs coming into this game. Oh, fouled that one back at a good cut.
Good cut on a good fastball. Ball was up just a little bit that time. Shepard, a good aggressive pitcher. Come right at him.
Guile can run too. Power, speed, everything.
After sets up outside.
Hit high in the air to left. Byrne retreats, not asked to come in because of the wind. Struggled but made the catch. Well, they got the fans out of their seats for a second, but to hit one out to left tonight, you're really going to have to jack it up.
You could hit the ball on the line to left field at this point in time. Take a look at Guile hitting the ball up in the air. Wind knocking it down. Byrne coming in, making a one-handed catch. Tracks the ball all the way, stays with it.
I like what Burnham did. Wind or no wind, he made sure he got back and the ball was not going to be over his head because it's so much easier to come back in.
Especially a ball that height.
Jamie Wood stands in, one of the 6 pinch hitters used by Gary Ward tonight. He delivered with a single. Breaking ball outside from Shepard. Wood has 6 hits in his last 8 trips in limited action. Outside ball 2.
If it overthrowing that time, they'll put too much on the fastball. And to have a great curveball like he does, you can just touch your fastball and set up the hitter for the good curveball.
It is nail biting time in both dugouts. Shepard wants to know where that pitch was. That looked like it was right down Broadway.
Right down Powder River, as they say, the ball was not up. And it was over the plate. We'll take a look. Ball was over the plate.
That's a pretty good pitch.
It's not high.
There's a strike call.
And he comes back and paints one on the outside corner of the eye. What happens when you essentially a slinger. When you sling your fastball, that's going to run all over the place.
Lost it. If we go to the 10th, Boltman, who has a home run, will lead it off, and the number 4 hitter Galloway in the order also has a home run. LaCroix and Embler, they're big hitters. If they're on the collar, they're 0 for 8. That's if we go to the 10th. Oklahoma State has other ideas. Josh Holliday 0 for 2. He has walked twice.
15 freshman.
Livingston will go to extra innings. We played 9 full, 5-5 here at the College World Series. Having a little fun here on the Deuce tonight with the College World Series. This has been a fun ball game as the moon shines brilliantly over Omaha, Nebraska. Take a look at the brackets. Miami, the only undefeated team in the field. Alabama at 1-1, and they will face the winner of tonight's Clemson-Oklahoma State game. The loser goes home at 0-2. And we will go to the 10th inning here. Maurer has come out of the bullpen, 4 2/3 innings, hasn't allowed a run, only 1 hit and struck out a man. He has done a sensational job for Oklahoma State. Coming up next on the Deuce, you'll get to see the U.S. boxing team in this Olympic year. They'll tussle with Germany in New Orleans, and that's coming up after our broadcast here on ESPN2.
Gary Roy talking about something, not pleased with it. And Mike, as you said, Maurer coming out of the bullpen, doing an excellent job over the last 4 innings. Good control, moved his pitches around. The Tiger hitters off balance.
And here's a guy with a 5.88 ERA who had given up 6 more hits than innings pitched. Kind of performance you don't expect from someone with those numbers, but he has performed when he had to. Boltman will lead it off. 1 for 3 with a walk. That 1 hit, a home run. Takes it up and in.
I talked about Maurer's split-fingered fastball. He struck out Livingston last inning with that last pitch. Excellent split finger.
Maurer has had wonderful control of his pitches. Especially when he has fallen behind, he has been able to come in with a good pitch with something on it. Just like that. 2-1 to Boltman. LaCroix and Embler, the other scheduled hitters, and boy, the Clemson dugout is really letting the home plate umpire have it with the calls they haven't gotten. Ball 3.
I legitimately feel that they've been squeezed somewhat in the strike zone tonight.
Tom McKinney, I don't think has turned his head once, just taking the abuse the way umpires normally do. Ball 4 to Boltman. Neither team has really distinguished itself in extra innings so far. Clemson has lost 3 out of 5. Oklahoma State 2 out of 3. So no advantage there for anybody. Let's see what Clemson decides to do strategy-wise.
Jenny's philosophy is if you are the visiting team, you have to be aggressive. The home team has the advantage. In extra innings.
LaCroix is 0 for 4, and you may have seen Boltman retreating as Maurer made his move to the plate, not sure of the move.
Now with a good move, not a great move, just a good one.
Hits a screamer. Into the corner. Boltman on his way to third. They're going to hold him there. A stand-up double from Matthew LaCroix.
Take a look at LaCroix's swing now. He's hit this ball as hard as anybody has hit it all night, including home runs. That ball gets out there very fast, ricochets around. As a matter of fact, it got there too fast and keeps Boltman at third.
Runners at second and third, nobody out in the Clemson 10th. Jason Embler, line to left, was robbed of a double, line to center, barely thrown out by the third baseman, and then lined to right. He could easily be 3 for 4, if not 4 for 4 tonight. And he's not going to get another look at Moore. This young man has turned in a sensational performance out of the bullpen tonight.
Mike, I agree with you. There's nothing to feel bad about. Corey hit a good pitch that time and just lasered it down the left field line.
They'll get a big hand, and deservedly so, from the Oklahoma State faithful. We'll have a pitching change. Back to check it out in a moment. Not a terrific fielding team. At least he gives you 5-5 top of the 10th. Clemson with a big rally here. Runners at second and third after Matthew LaCroix scorched a double into the left field corner. And Brian Thomas is the new pitcher. Really hasn't pitched much in the earlier part of this year, but had 3 relief appearances in the Big 8 tournament. 2 at the regional, and at the regional he worked 3 innings against Southern Cal, only gave up 1 run, got the win against Arkansas with 1 1/3 shutout innings, and has 43 strikeouts in 40 1/3 innings pitched. And with runners in second and third and nobody out, you could sure use a couple of strikeouts.
And a couple of sinker balls right now too hit at somebody. Not so sure Thomas is overpowering enough to get the strikeouts.
And Jason Embler is up there. He's got to be thinking, I don't care if I hit it hard or not. Just let one fall for a change.
Well, this is the situation where he's hit 3 line drives to left, center, and right, and he's got an excellent chance if he can just muscle the ball 100 feet, he'll get a hit.
The infield is in, which makes him about a 450 hitter. Fouled it straight back. Galloway is on deck. He is 4 for 4 tonight. So Clemson, as Oklahoma State had the middle of their lineup in the bottom of the 9th, Clemson has that advantage here in the top of the 10th.
Everybody's got to think center to right center now. Get the ball up in the air. And get his arms extended.
Nice breaking pitch from Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas working a little bit on Embler's frustration now. This is where, with 2 strikes, you got to really protect the plate as a hitter. Step right at the pitcher and waste it away.
Boltman will score from third. LaCroix will be held at third. So on an 0-2 pitch, Jason Embler hits the ball hard again, and this time got it through the infield for the go-ahead RBI.
You may have heard me say that he's going to waste the pitch away, and he didn't. He tried to strike him out. Pride over substance in that case. Let's take a look at Embler. Finally executes, throws a hit at somebody, hits it through the hole. That ball's over the plate, easily hittable. The outfielder comes up and fakes the throw.
When that was all arms, too, Steve, on that swing. He was flat-footed. He just wanted to make sure he covered the plate.
Covered. Extend the arms out. Make contact. Put in play.
Paul Galloway comes up 4 for 4. Clemson now with a 6-5 lead here in the 10th. Still nobody out.
I wouldn't be surprised if you'd see a squeeze in this situation.
check his swing. And on the appeal, they'll say he went around. To me, that's still the toughest call in baseball.
Toughest call of the game, simply because two things can happen. Either your wrist break or the head of the bat goes past home plate. Sometimes it's very, very close.
1-1 to Galloway, the senior from Camden, South Carolina. Ball 2 inside on a fastball.
Oklahoma State has to shut down Clemson at this point. They can't let them score another run.
Foul at the plate, 2-2. Clemson playing it straight up so far in this situation. Nobody's run. They haven't tried to bunt.
I'm surprised. Usually when you're in a visiting team situation, you have to be more aggressive.
But you have to consider Galloway is 4 for 4 tonight, too. Puts it right back to the mound, and the pitcher goes to second base. They drop the ball. They'll get the out at second base, but not the easy double play. Brian Thomas totally ignored Matthew LaCroix, who was coming in from third, and he would have had him dead to rights.
Gary Ward can't believe what he just saw. Can't take a chance. It's not a guaranteed double play. Let's watch the runner at third. He definitely breaks for home. It could have been easy out on the runner at third. There's a bobble at second. Only one out.
The mental mistake by Brian Thomas, who got the comebacker he needed. Would have had the easy play to cut off the runner between third and home. And instead, Clemson now has a 2-run lead. And Ryan Graves is coming in as the new pitcher. And the frustration showing on the face of Coach Gary Ward. We'll check out the number on Graves when we come back. A lot of thinking going on in that dugout right now, as Clemson has gotten its second run here in the 10th inning. And the only thing you can call it is a mental mistake with a runner on third, the ball hit right back to you.
What he should have done, Thomas, is check the runner first, and then even gone to second to get the runner, lead runner of the front end of the double play. And here, no chance at first. The runner scores. He's looking and he can't believe that he forgot about the runner. 2 runs. Obviously much better than 1 run, but in this situation, a mental error compounds it.
This is Ryan Graves, the left-handed senior from Riverside, California. Number 1 in wins on the staff and in innings pitched. He is 10-2.
That's cool.
And he comes on to pitch to Gary Burnham, who is 0 for 4. But LaCroix and Embler had been 0 for 4, and they delivered. Burnham's had a couple of good at-bats, too, although he has nothing to show for it.
Burnham, as with Embler, due for a hit.
Runner at first, 1 gone, 2 runs home here in the Clemson 10th inning in this elimination game at the College World Series. Burnham, a guy with a lot of power potential, although he hasn't shown it. He's only hit 5 home runs this year. They just think he is far more capable than that. Line out into center field, base hit. Galloway will hold at second. So the Clemson rally continues, and Graves gives up a single for the first batter he faces.
Once you start getting into the bullpen, obviously the quality is not going to be there. Now Burnham, who's been frustrated tonight, does a good job of taking an outside pitch up the middle. And finally getting his first hit of the evening at a timely point in this game.
There have been some guys who have worked awfully hard to get that first base hit for the Clemson Tigers, but they sure got him at the right time. Robinson is 0 for 4. He flied out his last time up. Checked his swing. Going back to that throw to second base, the reason they got the out is because the ball was dropped on the throw, not the catch. And that's the way you got to feel if you've watched any of this inning. Runners were going, ball was fouled away.
Finally, Jack Liggett had the runners going now with a 2-run lead. Puts the pressure on the defense.
In fact, 3 hitters who had been 0 for 4 coming into this inning have hits. And Jerome Robinson would love to join the parade.
One swing could break it open.
Nobody covering second base, and Galloway hustles back in there. Galloway with good speed down in second.
Coach Holliday.
Oh, right in the back of the head.
That's why they wear helmets, Mike. Helmet just protected him. Sometimes the backswings come all the way around.
If you're a catcher, you really have to want to play baseball.
In some way, like to get little nicks and bruises and spashes.
You just get beat to a pulp back there.
Yeah, your fingers get swollen and the palms of your hands lose all their sensitivity.
Line base hit. Robinson delivers. They're going to wave Galloway home. Kemp comes up throwing from right field 9 times. 8-5 Clemson. 4 hitters in this inning who were 0 for 4 have all come through with base hits.
If you just keep swinging, if you just keep believing, if you just put it in play, something good's going to happen. He fights this off the label. Not a lot of spin on it. It dies in the outfield, allows the run to score, and the runner from first to go on to third.
First and third now, 1 gone, 8-5 Clemson. And Will Duffy, who is 1 for 4 tonight, will come up. Lefty against the lefty, Ryan Graves. Breaking pitch hit hard, but foul. Left-hander hangs in there pretty well against the breaking ball. That hung pretty well, didn't it?
An over-the-top curveball that didn't break very much. Graves hasn't had much on the ball or much location.
He pitched 2 games in the regional tournament, including a 10-2 win over Southern Cal, the top-ranked team. And right now, Clemson has a chance to put it away. They're up by 3. An extra base hit here could make it a 5-run ball game, and Shepard would have a huge hand. 0-2 on Duffy.
Jack Liggett finally in a situation where he can smell victory. He can sense it now because he's got best reliever in the game. Got a 3-run lead.
In the dirt, another nice stop by Holliday this time. He's back behind the plate.
I give Holliday a lot of credit this evening. Gone from catcher to third, back to catcher. Some very good plays at both positions.
The 1-2 hit hard on the ground to the third baseman. Smith goes to second. Double play. So they get out of the inning on the 5-4-3 double play, but Clemson puts 3 in the board to take a 3-run lead into the bottom of the 10th. We go to the bottom of the 10th of the College World Series. Mike Patrick, Steve Garvey, Larry Conley, our entire ESPN crew with you. This has been a beauty as we go to the bottom of the 10th. Boxing racing coming up immediately following our broadcast. USA against Germany from New Orleans. And if the Clemson Tigers win this ball game, they will be delighted in several respects, one of which will be we won't be able to bring up that losing streak since 1977 anymore.
That will be gone. And Jack Leggett and this Clemson team knows that it's 3 outs away from finally breaking that streak. They've got some very good teams and been very frustrated over the years.
Boy, an interesting batting order here. Dean Kent, Jay McCullough, and Corey Smith are the scheduled hitters. They all appeared as pinch hitters in the 8th inning and all win. So many of the regulars are gone. Pinch hit earlier for.
That's the inning that was defined by Gary Ward's hunches and his ability to move players in this baseball chess game that he loves to play.
He doesn't have many buttons left to push. The guys that are out there right now are going to have to do the job against David Shepard. Hit on the ground. Galloway comes up. Holy cow, did he stay with us?
Tenacious Galloway stays in front of this ball, uses his chest and scrambles, and he does the one thing that he has to do, and that's barehanded throws off both feet and a strike at first base for the first out.
From parallel to the ground, right to the chest of Jason Embler. One gone in the 10th. That is some play from Paul Galloway. Jay McCullough, 3-0 hitter, drew a walk his first time up as a pinch hitter. Watch the Clemson bench. You betcha. Oklahoma State appearing in its 18th College World Series. Only one other time have they left 0-2. They have been remarkably consistent and competitive here. But they are on the verge right now. And Shepard smells blood.
Says a lot for the Oklahoma State Cowboy program.
Shepard is trying to make it twice. Pours another fastball in there.
That sounded about 92 at that much.
Well, if you could get an adrenaline count right now to be off the scale on David Shepard. Well, if home plate umpire Tom McKinney had called that one a ball, you might have had the whole bench on the field.
Clemson finally gets the strike that it's looking for on a fastball right on the outside corner. And he rings him up.
All on the shoulders of Corey Smith, the sophomore from Boston, Washington. 2 outs and no going on in the 10th. And Shepard is playing some good old country hardball now. Just rear back and throw it.
There it is. Try to hit it.
Down low, 1-1.
A little sinker on that one.
If Smith can keep it going, he would go back to the top of the Oklahoma State order and triple the K. Check the swing on a ball that broke hard inside, 2-1.
That's tough to do. Tough to check your swing and get your feet out and knees out of the way.
It was all moving, wasn't it?
Dean Kent.
2-1 to Corey Smith. Final a high fastball on play, 2-2.
Nothing left for the Cowboys but the discipline and making sure they hit a strike and not going after a bad pitch. Says it all.
Just tipped by. That's the width of an aluminum can that he got on that one.
And like McNamara before, when the ball was essentially by him and he flicked it back to stay alive. Oklahoma State battling back all night long, coming from a 3-0 deficit to 3-2, then 3-3, down 5-3, then 5-5, now 8-5.
Down to their last 12. Tapped on the ground toward Galloway at third. Clemson has won. Oklahoma State has been eliminated. The Clemson Tigers have broken a 19-year jinx and win it 8-5. Shepard, the winner out of the bullpen. Maurer, although he pitched very well, the loser out of the Oklahoma State bullpen. Here's the way the brackets look now. Miami earlier went to 2-0. Clemson joins Alabama at 1-1. Oklahoma State has been eliminated from the College World Series. Our final score in 10, Clemson 8, Oklahoma State 5. Stay tuned for USA Boxing. The United States against Germany coming up next on The Deuce. For Steve Garvey, Larry Conley, and our entire crew, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching, everybody. Join us again tomorrow for Day 4 of the College World Series. Good night, everybody.